Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. We have weekly broadcasts from 8 to 11 o'clock p.m. Central Time, and we hope that you'll always be a visitor. Tonight we have a busy schedule. We begin with 2 episodes of Incredible But True, followed by a 5-minute mystery. We then have some short episodes, Sonny and Buddy, the Green Valley Line, Jerry of the Circus, and then we have a little comedy with Our Miss Brooks. We move then to the Railroad Hour, an episode entitled Cat and the Fiddle. Next, Boston Blackie. And then we close with Adventures by Morse, Episode 3 of The City of the Dead. Let's get started.
Another 5-minute mystery. Inspector Clark speaking. Yes? The Cooper Rubies? Where? Blackstone's at 49th. I'll be right over.
Oh, come in, Inspector. Oh, this is terrible, terrible. And to think that we took such precautions. I just can't understand it.
Now, just a moment, Mr. Blackstone. Just calm down a bit and tell me what's happened.
I'll tell you what's happened. One of the Cooper Rubies has been stolen. That's what's happened.
I understand that, Mr. Blackstone, but if I could have some information about them...
The Cooper Rubies are a group of 15 of the most exquisite stones I have ever had in my possession. This woman, Mrs. Lloyd, came into my shop and asked to see the Cooper Rubies.
I wanted to buy one, but I certainly don't now.
I was showing them to her myself. At the same time, I was showing this gentleman, Mr. Williams, some bracelets.
Just a simple little bracelet for my wife, Inspector.
I was interrupted by one of the salesgirls. I turned away for just a moment, and when I looked back, one of the rubies was gone. Now I ask you, who other than one of these two could have taken it?
Your assumption is quite sound, Mr. Blackstone. I'm very much afraid I'm going to have to ask you two to be searched.
Why, of all the
Leave your bag here on the desk. Mr. Blackstone's secretary will assist you in the other room. Mr. Williams, I'll search you in Mr. Blackstone's office. Let's see. Mrs. Lloyd's bag. Compact. Nothing here. Lipstick. No secret compartments.
I hope you're satisfied.
Gloves. Nothing in the pockets. Well, I guess that eliminates you, Mrs. Lloyd. Now, Mr. Williams' things. Nothing in the pockets. Billfold. Comb.
Does that eliminate me, Inspector?
I guess it does, Mr. Williams. Everything seems to be quite in order. Cigarette, Mrs. Lloyd?
No, thank you. I don't smoke.
Williams?
No, thanks. I have my pipe.
Oh, of course. Well, Mr. Blackstone, I've found your precious ruby.
You've what? But I haven't seen it.
No, you haven't seen it, Mr. Blackstone, but I know where it is. Mr. Williams, I arrest you for the theft of the Cooper ruby. How did the inspector discover Eric Williams' theft of the Cooper rubies? Do you know the clue? In a moment, we'll hear more. But first... And now, let's see what Inspector Clark has to say.
But I don't understand. Where is the ruby, Inspector?
Well, Mr. Blackstone, when I asked these two people to submit to be searched, I knew the guilty one would hold out. For a moment I thought I was licked. We seemed to have all their possessions, yet nothing was evident. Only when I offered Mr. Williams a cigarette did I notice that he was smoking a pipe. Here, Mr. Blackstone, is your ruby, concealed in the bowl of this pipe. And now, Mr. Williams, I'd like to show you something in bracelets. A double one, better known as the handcuff.
The amazing story of David Lang of Gallatin, Tennessee, was first publicized by none other than the famous American writer Ambrose Bierce. Since Bierce was a skeptic of the first order, those tales of the supernatural which he saw fit to vouch for need little else to give them authenticity. Of these, however, none is better documented and none more baffling than the curious case of the man who vanished.
The thing happened in a field. It was a flat, ordinary field stretching out beyond the David Lang farmhouse near Gallatin, Tennessee. On that late afternoon in September of 1880, Lang himself and his wife sat on the back porch.
There's a buggy coming yonder, Dave.
Reckon it's that there fella from Gallatin, named Corey. He said he might come out and talk business this afternoon. I'd better get a move on.
Where you going, Dave?
Fetching the horses. I'll be back in a minute.
David Lang started across the field at a dog trot, and he had almost reached the middle of it when his wife suddenly leaped to her feet and...
Dave! Dave, where are you? Where'd you go?
Mrs. Lang raced across the field to the point where she had last seen her husband. And as she ran, she saw that the horse and buggy on the road had stopped, and that another figure was rapidly approaching her. They met in midfield and looked at each other in blank bewilderment.
He disappeared.
But he couldn't have. He must have fell down a hole of some kind.
But there ain't any hole.
3 nights after Lang's disappearance, his widow wandered alone and inconsolable near the spot where she had suffered her great loss. Suddenly, she heard the voice of a man in distress.
Help! Help me, somebody! Help!
Dave, where are you?
Help me,
I can
somebody!
hear your voice, but I can't see you.
Help!
Tell me where to find you, Dave.
There were other members of the family, there were neighbors, who testified that it was unquestionably the voice of David Lang. For 2 weeks, it continued to call out periodically, growing fainter each time. And then, at last, it was silent. The winter passed, and spring came, and Mr. Corey, the gentleman from Gallatin, had come out once again to discuss with Mrs. Lang the business which had been so tragically interrupted the previous September. As they talked, they strolled slowly across the field. And then, at the same instant, both of them stopped short and stared open-mouthed at the ground beneath them.
It's the same spot. The place where we last saw David.
And look at it now. Must be 15 feet across. A circle of dead grass.
Dr. Hearn, the Viennese scientist, suggested that he had stepped into a void spot in the universal ether and had been annihilated. And a prominent physicist hazarded the opinion that some sort of magnetic field had speeded up the atomic vibrations of his body, thus projecting him into a new vibratory dimension. But these are mere guesses. The guesses which science must resort to when faced by facts that defy analysis. Facts incredible, but true.
So rapid has been the advance of 20th century science in the diagnosis and cure of disease that one pictures men of medicine as seizing avidly on any discovery which contributes even slightly to their understanding the human body. And in general, such a picture is accurate. But what shall be said of Dr. Kilner's remarkable experiment? An experiment which might have revolutionized the whole field of medicine had not doctors and laboratory experts chosen to ignore it.
The record of Dr. W.J. Kilner's astonishing discovery may be found in a book entitled The Human Atmosphere. There he recounts how, on a summer's day 12 years before, he happened, by the merest chance, to stumble on a strange and inexplicable fact. He and his assistant were working on a routine experiment in the laboratory of St. Thomas Hospital in London.
All right, Alex. I'm ready for the viewing screen now.
It's got some sort of a dye on it, hasn't it, Doctor?
Yes, I stained it myself this morning with dicyanine. Hold the screen up, Alex. Let's see if it's dye. Wait a moment. What in the devil's name is that?
What?
Behind the screen.
It's my arm.
But what's around your arm?
Around it? Why, nothing.
Nothing you can see, perhaps. Alex, I want you to disrobe. I want to see your whole body behind that screen.
The laboratory assistant, completely baffled by Dr. Kilner's sudden, intense excitement, removed his clothes and stepped behind the viewing screen.
A sort of an aura, all different colors, extending beyond the surface of your skin. The human body, at least your body, throws off a strange kind of substance.
In the first feverish flush of discovery, Dr. Kilner had no doubt that he had correctly interpreted the amazing thing he'd seen. But an hour later, he began to wonder. And so he summoned one of his patients from a ward in the hospital and asked him to stand behind the screen.
I'm not crazy, am I, Alex? You see it too, don't you?
Sort of an atmosphere all around his body.
Exactly. The human atmosphere.
But why is it so different up there around his chest? The radiations, they're a different color and a different texture altogether.
By George, so they are. I'm sure they weren't like that when you... Good Lord. This man's a tubercular. And the aura's modified only in the region around his lungs. That screen's given us a new way to diagnose disease.
Word of the doctor's discovery spread rapidly through the hospital.
The human atmosphere.
You saw the radiations?
How do I know? They aren't the properties of the screen itself.
Alex, you ready with the other patient?
Yes, Doctor.
Well, then, help him to sit up behind the screen. If the radiations were just an optical illusion, if they were created by the screen itself, they'd always be present. Wouldn't they, Doctor? Well, then, take a look at the man who's there now. Do you see any aura?
No, I don't. How do you explain that, Kilner?
It's simple enough. You see, the body Alex is holding up in that chair happens to be a corpse.
Dr. Kilner made hundreds of difficult and invariably accurate diagnoses with the aid of his viewing screens. And yet, the record of Dr. Kilner's work lies ignored, forgotten by contemporary science. This fact, like the fact of the remarkable experiment itself, can only be regarded as incredible but true.
The Medicine Show doctor has hired a smuggler to take Sonny, Buddy, and Charcoal across the Rio Grande River into Mexico. The house car and truck drove away, leaving our little adventurer standing helpless on the banks of the Rio Grande. Now we find the boat carrying our little heroes far out into the river. As Buddy says...
Aren't we almost across the river, Charcoal?
Yeah, it's so dark I can't see very far, but I reckon us is almost across.
What river is this?
It's the Rio Grande, isn't it, Charcoal?
I reckon that's the name of it.
The Rio Grande? Well, I've always heard that the Rio Grande was so shallow that you could wade across it at almost any time.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The man was taking us across said it was cause there's been so much rain up above you this week. He said the river's flooded and the water's higher than it's been in years.
Gee, I'll be glad when we get across and get out of this leaky old boat. Won't you, Buddy?
Yeah, it looks like it's about ready to sink. Look at that water seeping through the bottom.
I'd be afraid to go very far in this boat.
It's a good thing we can both swim. If the old boat did start to sink, we could swim to shore.
You mean you think we could swim to shore? Do you think we could, Charcoal?
No, you couldn't get very far in this water. This river's plumb full of snakes and boa restrictors.
Boa restrictors? Don't you mean both constrictors, Charcoal?
Yeah, that's what I mean, them boa restrictor snakes.
Oh, Charcoal, what are you talking about? Boa constrictors don't live in water. They live in trees and jungles.
No, sir, not these Mexican boa restrictors. Maybe them ordinary boa restrictors lives in trees, but not these Mexican boa restrictors. They ain't particular about where they live.
Well, if we kept on swimming, we'd be all right. I've always heard that snakes won't bite you under the water.
Yeah, but these Mexican border restrictors will bite you under the water. They'll bite you in the woods or in the trees or in the anywhere. They ain't particular at all.
Oh, Charcoal, you're just making all this up. I'll bet there isn't a sign of a snake around here anywhere.
Oh, yeah, there's bound to be some snakes, like water moccasins. You always find them around rivers.
Buddy, listen a minute. Have you noticed the way that man keeps looking at us?
Yeah, he's hardly taken his eyes off of us since we left Doc and Betty. He's sure got mean-looking eyes.
Gosh, I'm glad Doc gave Charcoal that gun. At least we have something for protection.
Yeah, and you know what Doc told Charcoal? That if anyone tried to harm us, to shoot and shoot to kill.
Oh, I don't believe Charcoal would shoot if he had to. He's too scary.
Gosh, I hope Doc and Betty are waiting for us when we get on the other side of the river.
I hope so, too. Charcoal, you still have that gun Doc gave you before we left?
Let me see. I reckon I got it. Let me think now. Just a minute. Let me see. Where did I put that revolver?
Charcoal, don't tell us you've lost it.
No, I ain't lost it. Where is that gun? Oh, here it is. I remember now. Here it is in the sack with the lunch.
Well, put it in your pocket. Remember what Doc told you before we left? Have it ready in case anyone tries to harm us.
The gun'll shoot, won't it, Charcoal?
This gun? Man, I should kiss a pig. You know what this gun'll do? It'll shoot 3 miles and then stop and throw rocks.
Charcoal, buddy, look. There's a boat anchored out there. It's signaling this boat for something.
Yeah, look at the lights flashing on and off. It's some kind of a code, I guess. What are they signaling about, Charcoal?
I don't know, unless that's a snuggling boat, too, and they're signaling this boat that the coast is clear and they can land us.
Why, they said boats weren't allowed on this river. But that one's here all right, and it's a big one, too.
Yeah, look, it's got a little cabin on it. It looks like a fishing boat.
Must have drifted down here from somewhere else, because I know they don't allow no kind of boats on this river. The police is always trying to keep the smugglers from using boats.
Look, this boat's turning. It's heading for the other one.
I wonder what we're going over there for.
Maybe it's because this boat is leaking so badly and they're going to put us on the other one.
All right, boys. I'm going to transfer you to this big boat. They'll take care of you from now on. Climb up the side now. Pull out of here and make it snappy.
Look out now, boys. Don't you all slip, because this water's powerful wet.
You go first, Charcoal, and pull us up.
Give me both your hands now, Charcoal.
All right.
Easy now.
Come on.
Take your time.
I'm all right.
There you are. I'm safe. Come on now, Sonny. Give us your hands and we'll help you.
All right.
Come on.
Hold me.
Lift him up, Charcoal. A little harder. There you go.
Gee, this old boat is much better looking than the other one. Boy, aren't those tough-looking men over there? I wonder if they're the crew.
I sure wish Mr. Doc could pick some other way to send us across the river. I don't like this snuggling business at all.
Neither do I. I feel like we're on a pirate ship with a lot of cutthroats.
Keep quiet. Gee whiz, look at the tough old smuggler coming over to us. Remember now, we're supposed to be little colored boys.
Hello, boys. Going over to Mexico, eh?
Yes, I reckon us is.
What are you going to do over there?
What's going to sing and entertain the white folks?
Oh, so you're singers. Well, where are you going to sing? In the theater?
No, so we sing with Mr. Doc's traveling medicine show.
And do you entertain too, big boy?
Yes, I entertains and plays the banjo and drives the truck and does our job.
Where's the truck and house car now?
Oh, it's going on across the bridge at Laredo. Mr. Doc and his little gal has gone that way and they sent us this way. We is supposed to meet them on the other side.
Oh, so Doc has gone ahead and left you for us to bring over, huh? Well, how about giving us a little sample of your singing? We'd like to see a little show ourselves, wouldn't we, boys?
Well, us can't sing out here in the boat, white folks. Miss Betty always plays the piano for us to sing.
Well, we ain't got no piano, but Scarface here can play the harmonica, and Joe here can play his guitar. That's it, Joe. You can play for the boys, can't you?
No, the black boy said he played for him in the show. Let him play for him now. He can use my guitar.
But we don't want to sing.
Listen, kid, I said sing. And I'm obeyed when I give orders on this boat.
Go ahead and sing, Sonny. Keep them in a good humor till we get across.
All right, Charcoal, play.
Where are you boys from, huh?
Why, I'm from way down south, boss. So, pardon my southern accent. Pardon my southern drawl. Say it may sound funny. Oh, but honey, I love y'all. Now, if you don't like my accent, and if you don't like my drawl, then just don't listen. Let's start kissing, that you'll fall. Come on now, let me hear you steal my stuff. When I say, do you love me? All you gotta say is, sure enough. Pardon my southern accent, but didn't I hear you drawl? Were you just sighing or replying? I love y'all.
All right, now I'll sing Sweet Georgia Brown. Play it for me, Charcoal. No gal maid has got a shade on Sweet Georgia Brown. Two left feet, but also neat as Sweet Georgia Brown. They all sigh and wanna die for Sweet Georgia Brown. I'll tell you just why, and you know I don't lie, not much. Now it's been said she knocks 'em dead when she lands in town. Since she came, why, it's a shame how she cools 'em down. Fellers she can't get, must be the fellas that she ain't met. Georgia named her, Georgia claimed her, Sweet Georgia. They call her Sweet Miss Georgia Brown.
There. Come here a minute, kid, and let me take a look at you. Come here, I said.
What for?
Now, pull up your sleeve. Never mind what for. I said pull up your sleeve. You won't do it, eh? Well, I'll do it for you. Yeah, just as I expected. Hey, fellas, these ain't no colored boys. They just got black on their faces. They're white boys. White boys. Yeah, and there's some reason for that pill doctor blacking up these kids and smuggling them into Mexico. Who knows, there might be more than $50 in this job for us.
What do you mean?
I mean, suppose we hold these kids for a little while and do a little private investigating. These kids don't belong to that pill doctor, and there might be a big reward for them, and we could get it. If there ain't no reward, I know the doctor would be willing to pay more than $50 to get him back to his show.
You mean you're not going to turn us over to Doc like you promised?
No, I'm not going to take you to your doc, not yet. Not until I find out more about you. We're going to notify him that this smuggling job is worth more than $50 to us. And if he wants you back, he'll have to dig up more money. What do you say, fellas? Yeah, we're not in this business for our health. Let's hold these kids. Here, Joe. Put them down in the cabin.
All right, come on, you two. Make it snappy.
No, we don't want to go down there.
Get down or we'll throw you down.
Charcoal! Just them children. Put up your hands, white folks. Put them up, every last one of you.
Look out, fellas. He's got a gun.
You bet I got a gun, and what's more, I'm going to use it, too. Mrs. Doc told me that if anybody tried to harm these children, to shoot and shoot to kill, and that's just what I'm aiming to do.
Why, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir, out there, and if you touches them two little boys, I'll shoot your head right off. Listen, boys, look in them man's pockets and see if they got any guns.
Okay, Charcoal.
I'll help him, Charcoal.
Yes, they've got guns.
All right, throw them guns in the water. Now, listen, Sonny, you and Buddy, you boys say you can swim?
Yeah, we can swim.
Well, does you think you can make it to the shore?
We'll try.
Well, make a try for it while I hold off these scalawags with this gun. Go ahead and swim for your lives.
What about you, Charcoal?
Maybe I'll join you and maybe I won't, but you all go ahead.
Come on, Sonny. Dive.
Wild black rascal!
Stand back, white folks, or I'll blow you plumb full of holes.
Will Sonny and Buddy be able to swim to the shore? And what will happen to their old friend Charcoal, who is now at the mercy of the river bandits? Don't miss the next chapter.
present the 6th episode in the Green Valley Line, the story of a backcountry railroad in the early years of the 20th century. The great day of the race for the mail contract has arrived. From end to end of the Green Valley Line, they are watching and listening for news of the mail special. Leaving Glaspell 2 hours before the dawn, the rival trains are racing toward their western goal beyond the mountains. On the Green Valley, the special is nearing Morristown, where Pop Harkness and Bill Reed are anxiously listening to the telegraphic reports.
Well, what's it say, Bill?
That's the special out of Dexter. Right on schedule, Pop. She's doing fine. And here's a message from Glaspell. Quite a lot in it.
Well, what's it say?
Oh, bad news, Pop. The CK&W are running their train wild with a clear track and rights over all trains.
Yes, but that's against instructions. We're supposed to run under ordinary traffic conditions. What time are they making?
They're way ahead of us, Pop.
Well, don't get to worry now, Bill, but wait till they get to the mountains. They got 187 miles to our 96.
I'm not worrying. Wait, here's something else. They gave us 2 old mail cars. I bet the CK&W had a hand in that.
Shouldn't wonder. Still, they seem to be coming right along.
Listen, Pop, I've got an idea. I think it's a good one. I wish you'd let me change engines up at the hilltop instead of here at Morristown.
Say, what in a tarnation do you mean?
Well, I mean to let the mail special come right on through to Hilltop Siding. It's just 3 miles more.
Yes, but I don't see any sense in that, Bill. The only chance to look over them mail cars is right here in the yards. Can't do a thing at Hilltop.
Yes, we can, Pop. The car inspector can go up there. Besides, I don't care if those cars are in bad shape. All the better.
Well, I say, you ain't going crazy, are you?
No chance of that, Pop. I told you I've got an idea. Just let me have my own way.
Well, just can't do any harm. Maybe better to make the shift up there.
Sure. There's a lot of people hanging around down here, so if they're fixing to pull something, they'll be out of luck.
Well, all right. Better give the instructions.
Right. Just a minute. The boys are outside. Oh, Mickey! Fire!
Okay,
Come on in here, quick. Now listen, Mickey. We're going to run you out to Hilltop Siding with 1010 and the pilot. The 590 will go, too. We change engines up there.
You mean that we'll not be stopping at Morristown?
No. The mail special will go right through.
Well, that's queer, but maybe it's a good idea. How's she coming, Slim?
All right. She was out of Dexter right on schedule.
Boy, she's hitting it right along, ain't she?
Wait, hold on, listen.
Oh, what's wrong now?
That's the Minneota operator calling. Look out. Let me get to that key.
Anything wrong, Bill?
I don't know. The mail special's pulling into Minneota.
You mean she's stopping there?
Sure. There's a hot box in one of those mail cars. The front one.
Well, is it Dad, Bill?
Sure, she's afire. They're working at it now.
Now, wouldn't that skin you? A blazer, too. Bedad, that's nothing.
It's those old cars they gave us. All right, they've got it. The operator says they'll be out in 2 minutes. Listen. There they go. Let's see, stopping and starting, 4 minutes. 2 minutes fixing that blazer. That's 6 whole minutes they've knocked out at Minneota.
No chance to make that up either. There's a bad hill out of Minneota.
All right, never mind that, Spider. Listen, Mickey. Who's your conductor?
Wilson.
All right. You and Spider go out and couple on. You've got 2 boxcars and a caboose.
Sure, they're already on number 4.
All right, get out and hook on them. Pull out onto the main line in front of the depot. Engine 590 will go with you to Hilltop. I'll have the orders ready for you. I'm coming, too.
Okay, sir. Okay, what's the idea of changing engine to the Hilltop, young fella?
Well, you've got to leave it to me, Pop. I'm looking for trouble on the west end. The pilot will run 10 minutes ahead of the mail special.
Well, but if they got the pilot, the mail train will be stuck, too.
Well, maybe, but I'm taking the chance. You remember there was a spy snooping around the other night when we decided to run the pilot? I figure they'll know about it.
Well, I see the idea, but even if they let the pilot go through and ditch the mail, well, we'll be out of luck.
Well, you leave it to me now, Pop. I'm going to get that mail through on schedule or bust. There's the special. 9 miles out of Morristown. She'll be here soon.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, good morning.
Why, hello, Carrie. What you doing here?
Thought you might like me to come over and sit with you, Pop, while the special goes over the west end.
Well, now, that's real nice of you, young lady.
What's the 1010 doing out in the main line?
We're going to run her and 590 to Hilltop and change engines there.
That's funny. Where's the special?
She'll be here in a few minutes now. Listen, Pop, I'm going now. There's nothing more to do here.
Well, all right, son. Do the best you can.
Oh, it's a cinch, Pop. In 3 hours' time, we'll have that mail delivered at Fuel Junction and the mail contract in the bag.
You seem rather confident.
Sure. And by the way, we're going to have a big celebration at the town hall tonight. I'll be back. and you can put me down for 4 dances.
Well, you certainly have a nerve.
Why not? It runs in the Reed family. Goodbye, Pop.
Goodbye and good luck, Bill. Let me have a wire from Sewell.
Sure, I'll see you tonight.
Well, there they go.
I don't understand that idea of making the change of engines up at Hilltop.
Well, I reckon young Bill figures there'll be less danger of any monkeying. Can you read them telegraph reports, Carrie?
Sure, of course. There's nothing doing at present, though.
No, but you might call up Hilltop siding and ask him to give you a full report on what's going on up there.
All right, Pop. Oh, there's the special whistling for the yard limit.
Sure. The main line's all clear. She'll highball right through. There she comes. Gosh darn it. I don't like the looks of them old mail cars.
My goodness, you don't mean to say they gave us old equipment.
That's what's happened. Looks like another hot journal on that rear car. Or maybe it's just a dust fly.
There's the operator at Hilltop. He says the pilot is just running onto the siding.
Well, tell him to stay on the wire, honey. The special's halfway up the hill. They'll be there in a couple of minutes.
He says they've run the 590 down the main line, so it's to save time changing engines.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. It's kind of dangerous, though.
He says the special's just coming in. They're pulling alongside the pilot train.
Well, what's the idea of that?
There's something wrong with the mail coaches.
Yeah.
The men are working under the cars.
Well, that's what I was afeard of. Wonder what's wrong.
The operator says they're down the far end of the siding. It's too far to see.
Gosh almighty, I wonder what they're doing.
I don't know. Oh, there's Bill Reed on the wire now talking to the dispatcher.
Well, see what he says if he can.
He's sending awfully fast. It's wait a minute, yes. Yes, trouble on the mail cars. Hot journals and one car, something the matter with the air. Oh, my gracious,
No, don't get to worrying, honey. They got 17 minutes allowance anyway.
Must be all right. The pilot is pulling out. Oh, Pop, do you think that old 1010 can keep ahead of the mail special?
Sure. Why, the 1010's one of the best engines we've got since she's fixed up. I only wish she had the mail behind her.
There she goes.
Yeah.
Say, Pop, I want to ask, wish you'd tell me something.
Well, what is it, Carrie?
Well, I don't understand this mail run. Why should they have 2 trains?
Well, no, I can't rightly tell you that. It was Bill Reed's idea.
I thought so.
You see, we're running the 1010 with a couple of boxcars and a caboose 10 minutes ahead of the mail special.
Well, what's the use of that?
Oh, it's just an idea Bill had, that's all. Can't say that I see much use in it. But I got a lot of confidence in Bill. He's a right smart young fella.
Well, I hope it turns out all right, Pop. I'm sure.
You still suspicious of that young fella, Carrie?
Oh, I don't know, Pop. He's not my sort, I guess. But I'd like him better if he wasn't so sure of himself.
No, there's another train report.
Yes, it's the mail special out of Hilltop Siding. Unscheduled. They fixed their trouble on the mail car.
I wonder how long they'll last. If it wasn't for the old mail cars, we might make it.
And there's the report from Sunnyside on the 1010. She went through flying.
Gosh, the old 1010's running fine. Wish I knew what young Billy's up to.
Listen, there's a message from Unity Siding. They're copying it in the dispatcher's office. Oh, Pop, it's trouble.
Unity? Well, that's more than halfway to Sewell. It's in the mountains, right at the foot of the big grade.
Listen, it says that a gang of men broke into the tool house at Unity Siding. They've gone east along the track from Unity.
Gosh almighty, I should have known they might have done something like that. We gotta get word to the pilot and the mail special, too.
It's all right, Pop. The dispatcher is talking to the operator at Parslow. He's got the message. He's going to flag the pilot.
Scared my high, that's the worst place of the whole system. They can throw the track there at the foot of the big hill and nobody near to stop them.
Do you think it's CK and W men?
Sure. Who else would want to make trouble like that?
Didn't I tell you this baby could travel? She's a fine little engine, Spider, me boy. But what the devil we're doing out here ahead of the mail special, I don't know. I've been puzzling me brains over this for the last 2 days.
Listen, if you had any brains, you wouldn't be a hoghead.
Oh, is that so? Well, let me tell you now.
Hold on. There's somebody coming over the train.
Oh, it's young Bill Reed. Keep that spade going now. We'll be needing plenty of steam for the hill.
Hello there, Mickey. How's she rolling?
Fine, sir. The old Tin was never better in her life.
Good. What's that station ahead?
That'll be Parslow. Keep your eyes skinned, Spider, me boy.
Hey, cut her, Mickey. The board's against us.
What?
Gosh, what in the world does that mean?
Keep her going, Mickey. There's the operator on the platform. He's giving me a high ball. He's got something in a hoop.
Maybe a 19. More time on 72, perhaps.
It looks like a message from here.
Come on, Spider, me boy. Keep your eye on that hoop. We have to back up or I'll murder you.
Watch it, Spider.
Okay, I got her. Sure, it's a message.
Let's see it.
Hold on while I throw this hoop off.
There you are. Gosh, listen to this. Conductor engineer extra 1010. Reduce speed to 15 miles an hour approaching Unity siding. Look out for attempt to damage track between milepost 132 and Unity.
Oh, I thought we was doing too well. So they're getting started with their funny work, are they?
How far is Unity, Mickey?
It's about 10 miles from here. We'll be there in that many minutes, the way we're going.
What's the track like this side of Unity, Spider?
And there's a long downgrade and a sharp turn at the foot of the hill. That's about the place according to the message. We'll see it in a minute.
Well, listen, Mickey.
I'm listening.
All right. Looks like these folks ahead are planning to stop the mail special.
Sure, looks that way. And there's no way to prevent them.
Right, that's what I figured on.
Oh, you did, eh?
Sure. That's why I decided to run this pilot. They may let us through.
But what good will that be if they got the mail train?
Never mind. Get through if you can and keep going.
Well, whatever you say. Here, Spider, keep your eyes skinned. Watch out, now.
There's the bend. I can see it now. Ain't nothing in sight.
Better ease her off then, Mickey.
Sure.
Hey, there's some men there.
What?
A bunch of them close about the track.
Yeah.
I see them. They're on both sides of the track. And mother and gibbles, they're starting to monkey with the track.
All right, open her up.
Listen. Now we'll be in the ditch.
Open her up, I say. It's our only chance. Come on before they get that rail loose.
By the holy poker, I'll open her up. You'd better say your prayers. Hold tight now. We're on top of them.
Come on. Give it to her. Now, look now. They got a charge under the track, and they're running out of fuel. For the love of Mike, look out!
Mother of Moses, we bet them. We're past. But what's the use? They dynamited the train behind us. They got the mail. The race is over.
Jerry of the Circus. Now for Jerry of the Circus.
Jerry? Hey, Jerry, we're getting in. Come on, Jerry. You wanted to watch them set up this morning?
I'm getting up. Golly, it's still dark, Bumps.
Yep, pretty early, but you don't have to get up and watch them unload, you know.
But I want to. I've never seen them unload and set up. And with a clay lot, it ought to be real interesting.
Yeah, interesting to you, but plenty tough for the canvas men. You know, a mud or clay lot is no sense to set up on.
Hey, where's Mother's shoe? Oh, here it is.
I'll go out with you and introduce you to Paul Murray.
Who's he, Bumps?
Well, he's a head canvas man. I guess he'll show you around if he's not too busy.
It sure is going to be fun.
Yeah, and you'll learn a lot, too. You know, there's a lot more to setting up the tops than you think.
What I can't figure out is how they do it so fast.
It's all system, Jerry. Well, I'm ready. How about you?
Okay. Can I take Rags?
Oh, I don't know about that. He might get in the way.
But look at him. He hasn't taken his eyes off us since we started to get dressed. You want to come with me, don't you, Rags?
Shh. Hey, not so loud there, partner. Folks are all sleeping in this car.
Oh, he wants to come, Bump. I'll see that he stays right by me.
Well, all right. But don't let him get hurt or stepped on.
Oh, I won't. Come on, Rags.
Here, now, I'll be quiet when we walk down the corridor.
Okay. Come on, Rags. Quiet now.
Say, we could lose a lot of friends if we made any noise and woke up some of the performers at this hour.
Funny, the noise of the train and the unloading doesn't wake them up.
Well, circus folks get used to those noises, Jerry. It's unusual noises like footsteps and voices in the car this early that bothers them. Yeah, here we are.
Come on, Rags. Stay right alongside of me now.
Now, let's get over there to the flat cars, huh? Be careful where you step now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I hear Paul over there. Oh, Paul. Paul Murray.
Yay!
That's him waving that lantern.
Say, look at all those torches.
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's Bumps, Paul.
Hi, Rags.
How come you're up at this hour in the morning, Bumps?
Well, my pal here wanted to see the unloading and setting up today. Paul, I want you to meet Jerry Dugan.
I'm I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Murray.
I'm glad to meet you, son.
If you're not going to have it too tough today, I thought maybe you'd show Jerry around a little.
Sure thing.
I won't be in the way.
I don't think so.
Well, this is Rags, Paul. It's Jerry's dog.
Well, hello there, Rags. Say, this is the dog that works with you, isn't it, Bumps?
Yep, that's my partner, all right. Oh, have you seen us work?
I caught part of the show one night last week. Clever dog.
Quiet, Rags.
Well, if it's all the same with you, I'm going back to bed for a while. Sleep is a whole lot more important to me than watching you set up.
Okay, Bumps. You go back and finish your beauty sleep. Jerry and I'll get along all right.
All right, see you later. And keep your eye on Rags, Jerry.
Okay, so long.
Here comes the first wagon for the mess top, Jerry. Let's ride it over to the lot.
All right.
Okay, Bert. I'll take it on over.
Hey! Okay, bud.
You climb up there in the driver's seat, Jerry?
Sure. But you hand me Rags, will you?
Okay. Up you go, boy. That's the boy. Here, Rags. Come here, boy. Up with you. Hey, you got him?
Uh-huh. Thanks.
All right. Get, boy. Get up. Come on, boy. Come on.
How far is the lot where we're going to set up?
Oh, not very far, Jerry. I don't know exactly myself.
Then how do you know which way to drive?
You'll see in a minute, just as soon as we hit the street.
What's in this wagon, Mr. Murray?
Mostly dishes and cooking utensils, and they're important. When my men get the big top and the menagerie and the midway tops, their job is done, and they'll be wanting their breakfast.
Hey, look it. There's another torch over there on the curbstone. See it?
I sure do. That's what I was telling you about. That's how I know which way to go to the lot.
What do you mean?
You see, Jerry, the first wagon that goes over to the lot from the railroad yards is on the Trailblazer. They put those flares along the route to be followed. That one on the right-hand side of the street means that I'm to turn right at the next corner.
Golly, that sure is a good system.
And you know something, Jerry? The drivers of the wagons don't even have to watch out for the flares.
They don't? Why not?
Oh, because the horses are so used to following the flares that they make the turns by themselves.
They do?
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, Jerry. There's the lot ahead of us.
You mean where all those torches are sitting on the ground?
Yep, that's it.
Why are they sitting around like that?
Well, that's the way the lot's been laid out. I can tell from the way the flares are placed just where each top is supposed to go up. Why, even the places for the center poles of the big top have been marked off.
I see what you mean. Those flares all in a row there. The pole goes up where each one of them is, huh?
That's right.
Golly, look at the ground, Mr. Murray. Why, it's all mud.
Yeah, not such good footing here in this clay. We'll be using plenty of sawdust today.
This would sure be a bad lot if it rained, wouldn't it?
Yes, sir. But it won't rain. You don't have to worry about that.
Why? Because it rained so much before we got here?
Nope, I got a better way to tell than that.
How?
I can tell just by looking at the space between those flares.
Why, you're fooling. How could you tell if it's going to rain or not that way?
It's a pretty sure system, Jerry. Don't miss very often.
But somebody
Get it, boy.
put those torches there. Hey, how could the weather have anything to do with that?
Oh, the weather has a lot to do with the way that they're placed, Jerry. You see, our advance men checked with the Weather Bureau pretty carefully.
Well, what's that got to do with it?
Oh, the flares mark off the distance between center poles.
Yeah?
The center poles are further apart on a dry day than they are on a day we expect rain. We put them closer together on a wet day to allow for the shrinkage in the canvas. Come on, boy. Come on, boy. If the canvas was stretched tight and then it started to rain and it began to shrink, it would split the top wide open.
Gee, I never thought of that.
Hey there, boy. Hey there. Oh. Well, here we are, son. Hop down.
Okay. Come on, Ray. Jump. Oh, I forgot about your sore foot. Come on, then. I'll lift you down.
That's getting right, Jerry. The old sun's coming up. And we can use plenty of light setting up on a clay lot like this one.
Everything will get all muddy, won't it?
We hope not. Oh, here comes a load of sawdust now. I'll have some spread around before I unload the canvas. Hey, Pat. Get some of that sawdust down in a hurry. I got to unload canvas.
What's the first thing you do?
Oh, we dump the canvas, and then we unfold and spread it. Of course, you know by that time the center poles are. And then we start tying on to the baling rings.
Baling rings? What are those, Mr. Murray?
Those are the big rings that go around the center poles. We fasten the top of the canvas to them and then hoist them up.
Oh.
And then we lace on the sides and tie her down. Well, here comes my first load of canvas. Let's get over there, huh?
Okay. Come on, Rags.
You see that smoke over there to your left, Jerry? That's breakfast starting already. They got the fires up before the mess top's standing.
They sure work fast, don't they?
Well, they gotta.
The thing I can't figure out is how you know just where each top is supposed to go.
And every time we play, we have a different layout.
Yeah. Say, why is that?
Well, Jerry, I'll bet there's over 1,000 different ways to lay out a circus. It all depends on the lot. The size and the shape and all that. Now, the first thing is to get the midway and main entrance to the big top nearest the best street, so it's easy for the folks to know just how to get to the circus, see?
Oh, I see.
And then we have to figure, before we set up, just how we can break down the easiest. We've noticed a lot of the things start moving and being loaded before the night show is over.
Yeah, and I've wondered about that.
Well, we couldn't very well wait until the show is all over and then start moving, or we'd never get our work done. So we start taking the things off the lot that have been used.
You mean the big things?
Mm-hmm, like the steel for Jason's act. The minute he finishes, we break it down and take it right over to the cars.
By that time, the mess tent and the kitchen is all on the train.
That's right. Over here, Tom. All right, you men. Let's lay it down.
They sure work fast.
Look over there, Jerry.
Why, it's the mess tent. It's almost stopped.
Suppose you take a walk over there and watch them fix breakfast now. I'm going to be a little busy for a while. Ask for Leo. He'll show you around.
Okay, Mr. Murray. Thanks for showing me all you did. See you later.
All right, Jerry. Goodbye.
Well, Rags, aren't you glad we got up early and got to see all we did? There's just no end to things you can learn about a circus, and every bit of it's wonderful. Oh, you think so too, huh?
Morning, lad.
Good morning. Are you Leo?
No. Leo's over there with that white cap on.
Oh, thanks. Come on, Rags. Golly, it's sure pretty this time of the morning when it's getting light. Hello.
Hello there.
Are you Leo?
Well, that's been my name ever since I can remember.
Well, I'm Jerry Dugan. Mr. Murray just sent me over here.
Now, what's Paul want?
Oh, nothing.
Well, what'd he send you over here for?
Oh, he's been showing me how they set up, and he's afraid I'll be in the way, I guess. I mean, when they put up the big top. Besides, I'd like to look around the cook tent here.
Well, so that's it, huh? Well, hop to it, my boy. Look around and ask some questions. That's the way to learn.
Thanks, I will.
Suppose you'd like to know what I'm stirring in this big kettle.
Uh-huh. What is it?
Well, this is the makings for about 2,000 or 3,000 hotcakes.
Yeah, well, 2,000 or 3,000?
Yep. This and those other 7 kettles full of batter. Those razorbacks will be plenty hungry when they finish setting up in this mud field.
Do they get as much as they want to eat?
Well, I guess they do. Haven't had any complaints.
Hey, look it.
What?
Why, here comes Mr. Randall.
Mm-hmm, the governor himself.
Oh, Mr. Randall.
Oh, hello, Jerry. What are you doing up this hour?
Why, I've been watching them set up. Excuse me, Leo. I'll see you later.
Okay, my boy.
Hey, where are you going, Mr. Randall?
I'm looking for Paul Murray. Seen him around?
Why, sure. There he is.
Oh, yeah. Say, Paul.
Yes, Mr. Randall?
Come here a minute.
Is something wrong?
Well, I don't know, but it kind of looks the way, Jerry.
You looking for me, Mr. Randall?
Yes, Paul. How's it going? A lot pretty tough?
I've seen a lot worse places. We'll be up on time.
Yeah, good.
What's on your mind, boss?
Well, I just got a telegram back at the railroad station. Things don't look so good further up the line.
Yeah? What's the matter?
Listen to this. Advise you to cancel next stand. Heavy rains of past week have weakened trestle over Horn River. Doubt safety of taking your cars over it. J.W. Thornton, Superintendent, Horn River Division, SL&M Lines.
Gee, that doesn't look so good. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to play our next stand. Folks in that town are expecting the circus tomorrow, and I'm not going to let them down.
But maybe the bridge will be weak, and if we try to cross it with all those cars with elephants and everything...
Well, we'll go as far as the trestle and then examine it.
And?
If we can't get across, we'll find another way. But we're going to play that town.
Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair bring you Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden. Our Miss Brooks teaches English at Madison High, but one of her favorite subjects at school is biology. Or to be completely honest about it, biology teacher Philip Boynton. He's tall, dark, handsome, and painfully timid. But Connie Brooks is still hopeful. In her own words,
I'm still hopeful that he'll look up from his experiments one day and decide that I compare favorably with some of his higher-type frogs. Somehow I feel that if I could just be alone with him a few hours, he wouldn't mind my not being wart green. It looked like last Saturday was going to be the day. I was thinking about my plans when my landlady, Mrs. Margaret Davis, obeyed my instructions to wake me at 8:30.
Connie, wake up, Connie. It's 8:30.
Oh, come in, Mrs. Davis.
Good morning, Connie. How did you sleep?
Pretty well, Mrs. Davis. How about you?
Well, I wasn't going to mention it, but now that you ask, my insomnia has got me a little worried. You see, for the past 3 nights, I've gone to bed at 9:30 and slept right through the night.
Well, what's wrong with that?
I missed the sleeping pill I'm supposed to take at 10. But I guess I'll be all right. Tell me, Connie, why did you leave me a note to wake you? What happened to your alarm clock?
Oh, it met with an accident yesterday morning.
What kind of an accident?
I threw it in the bathtub and stamped on it. Thanks for getting me up, though. I've got to be down at Carney's repair shop at 10. That's when they promised my car would be ready.
Goodness, it's about time. How long has your car been in that repair shop, Connie?
Off and on, about 12 weeks.
How long have you had your car?
Off and on, about 12 weeks. I hope it holds together today. I'm driving Mr. Boynton to the football game with Clay City High.
Madison didn't play them last year, did it?
No, this is the first time. They say Clay City's an awfully nice little town. It's about 60 miles from here, I understand.
55 as the crow flies. You ought to make it in a couple of hours, easy.
Well, I'd better allow 3. My car makes about the same time a crow does on the ground.
Well, hurry and get dressed, Connie. I've got a surprise recipe for your breakfast.
I hope it's not as surprising as the last one, Mrs. Davis. Blubber burgers fried in deep seal fat. I'm afraid I haven't time for breakfast today. I'll just have a glass of milk.
Well, don't you even want to know what the surprise consists of?
Oh, no, thank you.
Well, I'll save it for you till tomorrow. It'll keep fine, although a little penicillin may form on the mold.
Probably do it a world of good. Well, I have to be running along now, Mrs. Davis. I've got to get my car, pick up Mr. Boynton, and then it's off to Clay City. Just think, we'll be alone together for 55 whole miles.
Oh, wonderful, Connie. I hope Madison runs up a big score.
Me too, but I'm more concerned about scoring with Mr. Boynton.
Joe Carney. I'll be with you in a minute, Miss Brooks. I just want to finish this fender here.
That finished it. Is my car ready, Joe?
Your car?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What did you bring it in for last?
One of the headlights needed a new bulb.
Oh, yes. Step into the office here a minute, will you? I'll get the sheet on that car. Have a seat, Miss Brooks.
Thank you.
Should be right here in the desk. Was that a Nash, Miss Brooks? 1935 convertible?
Yes, a late 35. Though it wasn't a convertible until I tried to go through a railroad crossing with the bars down.
Oh, yes, here we are. You say one of the headlights needed a new bulb?
That's what you told me.
Funny, our mechanic found quite a bit of other work to do on the car.
What other work?
Well, your spark plugs were shot, so he replaced them, and the points were practically gone.
Where to?
Your valves needed grinding, and the wheels were way out of line. Of course, that could have been caused by the warped axle. Practically no ball bearing action left in the sprockets at all. And your transmission and differential had to be thoroughly revamped.
How did I get the car down here, on my back?
The steering knuckle was way off, so he had to pack that. But that wasn't too much trouble.
I'm glad.
He was down there ripping off the old brake lining anyway. The new voltage regulator we put in should help that shorten the wiring considerably, and a new oil filter will keep your motor cleaner.
Now, just a minute, Joe. You didn't say a word to me about any of those things when I left the car here.
Well, of course not, Miss Brooks. I had no way of knowing about them until our mechanic checked the car thoroughly. Any more than I could have told you about the clutch lining.
What about the clutch lining?
Let's not speak ill of the dead. It was shredded, and that probably affected the rear end situation.
Rear end?
It was really dragging. Now, do you want me to total up your bill with the new radiator that's coming, or just charge you for the soldering job temporarily?
Like I say, Joe, what do I owe you for the light bulb?
Oh, we'll just throw that in. And please don't feel that we invented any of these difficulties, Miss Brooks. Every item on your bill was strictly legitimate. May I never smear grease on my hands and charge for a lube job if it wasn't.
I've got a good mind to get the Falcon after you. What's the total?
Let me see. $14.50. 46 for parts. $18 for the transport. $9 for the distributor of the crown. $6 for the cranks. Well, it's $112.49, Miss Brooks. Call it $113 even.
We'll call it $112 even, and I'll have to pay you off by the week, Joe.
Oh, that's perfectly all right. Say $10 a week for 20 weeks.
20 weeks? That would be $200.
Carrying charges, Miss Brooks. Plus lawyer's fees.
Lawyer's fees?
Well, sure, you're a school teacher, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, you couldn't keep paying $10 a week out of your salary. A lawsuit's inevitable.
Well, if I can't make the payments, I'll sell you the car.
Are you kidding? With the repair work this heap needs, I wouldn't give you $100 for it.
Look, I've got to have the car today, Joe. I'm driving Mr. Boynton to Clay City to see our football team play. Now, what would it cost me if you put back the shredded clutch lining and the gone points?
Well, never mind. Never mind that, Miss Brooks. How much cash have you got on you?
Well, I got paid yesterday and just took care of my rent and a few small bills, so I've still got about $19.
We'll take it. I believe in one price. You say $19, I say $19. Hand it over.
Here you are, and Mother will be happy to know you let me keep my locket. On to Mr. Boynton.
Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, will continue in just a moment. But first, here is Vern Smith with an important announcement. Palmolive Soap is giving away prizes worth $67,000, a grand prize of $25,000 in one lump sum, or $100 a month for life. And that's not all. There are over 2,000 prizes in Palmolive's big treasure chest contest. Ford sedans, Westinghouse laundromats, Fromm Silver Fox scarves, Toastmaster toasters, and it's easy to enter. Complete the last line of this jingle.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive Soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Write your last line on a plain sheet of paper or use an official entry blank giving complete rules obtainable at your dealers. Include your own and dealer's name and address, and mail with the big word Palmolive from the front of the wrapper of one regular and one bath-size cake of Palmolive Soap to Palmolive, Box 92, New York 8, New York. Now, here's the jingle once more.
A fresher, brighter-looking skin is something I would like to win. I'll get Palmolive Soap today. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Mail your entry to Palmolive, Box 92, New York 8, New York. But hurry, contest closes soon. Get Palmolive Soap for a lovelier complexion. Remember, doctors prove Palmolive's beauty results.
Well, I finally got to Mr. Boynton's apartment house to take him to the football game. He was standing in front of the door holding a big box with a cellophane top, the kind you put an orchid corsage into. I said, Mr. Boynton, you shouldn't have bought me flowers. His answer was typical of the man. With a modest smile, he hung his head, blushed, and said,
I didn't.
Oh. Well, then what's in that box?
MacDougal.
He's a wee one, isn't he?
MacDougal's a bullfrog, Miss Brooks. I took him home from the laboratory yesterday. I don't like the sound of his voice. It's kind of raspy.
Maybe he's got a man in his throat. Are you taking him with us to the football game?
Oh, I'm afraid I'll have to. You see, his neck's pretty sore, and I put a compress on it. Wouldn't want him to scratch it off. He should have had his tonsils out long ago.
Maybe his folks couldn't afford it. Well, get in, Mr. Boynton, and put McDougal in the back.
Oh, I'd rather not, Miss Brooks. Let's keep him up here in front, between us.
Goody. I've always wanted to go to a football game with a bullfrog. Well, are you all set, Mr. Boynton?
All set, Miss Brooks.
Then we're off to Clay City. It's a beautiful day for football, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Do you like football, Mr. Boynton?
Well, frankly, Miss Brooks, I haven't seen many games.
Oh, that's a shame. We teachers should set an example in school spirit for the student body. That's why I'm going today. That's one reason, anyway.
I beg your pardon?
I said I think we should show more interest in school events.
Oh, I agree, Miss Brooks. Who's pitching for us today?
Well, we tried to get Satchel Paige, but he's tied up. Of course, we have some good backfield men pitching passes. That's what you meant, isn't it?
Oh, I guess so. I'm afraid you'll have to explain quite a bit of the rules, Miss Brooks.
Oh, you'll get on to it, Mr. Boynton. Meanwhile, we've got 55 miles to travel together. Just you and I. I was hoping you'd feel that way about it.
That was McDougal. Now, quiet, Mac. I want you to rest your throat.
Yes, do that, Mac. Now, where was I?
You were saying we've got 55 miles to drive together.
That's right. Just the three of us. A man, a girl, a bullfrog. Well, we'll have fun anyway. I know a wonderful little restaurant en route where we can stop for lunch. It's called the Blue Goose Cafe.
Oh, fine. Look, Miss Brooks, isn't that one of our students pushing that car across the street?
Oh, yes, that's Walter Denton. Maybe we can give him a hand. Hello, Walter.
Oh, hello, Miss Brooks. How do, Mr. Boynton?
Oh, hello, Walter. Something go wrong with your car?
Oh, nothing unusual. It just won't go. I think my clutch lining is gone.
Oh, well, take a little of mine, Walter. I've got a new batch.
Gee, of all times to fizzle out on me. I had my heart set on going to the Clay City football game today.
Well, why don't you come along with us? What do you say, Miss Brooks?
With us? Well, I'm sure Walter would rather get there under his own power. Maybe we ought to try and get his car started.
Oh, it's no use, Miss Brooks. It won't go. I know this car like the back of my hand.
And the back of me hand to you. Well, it isn't that you're not welcome to come with us, Walter. I know. Why don't we tow you in your car?
Tow me?
Well, I don't understand the point of that, Miss Brooks.
You wouldn't.
I haven't got any tow rope anyway, Miss Brooks.
Well, maybe we could push you in your car. You know, bumper to bumper and shove. Then when we got to a nice downgrade, whee! Like our Walter.
Oh, you're kidding me, Miss Brooks.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the back here. You and Mr. Boynton won't even know we're in the car.
All right, Walter, hop in. I wouldn't want you to miss the game. Well, here goes, off to Clay. Did you say we're in the car?
Sure, I've got a date with Harriet Conklin. She's a real football bug.
Bug?
Don't get excited, Mac. It's just an expression.
She'll be waiting in front of her house, Miss Brooks. It's just a mile or two out of your way.
Naturally. But we'd better hurry if we want to have some lunch before the game. Hang on.
Turn right at this corner, Miss Brooks.
You better slow down for it. Oh, look out for that milk wagon.
Boy, that was close.
Oh, are you still in the car, Walter? I mean, I hope I didn't unnerve you.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Brooks. I'm used to driving with woman drivers. My mother's one, you know.
One what, Walter?
It's only natural for drivers to make mistakes. But my mom has made some whoppers.
That I can see.
Look, isn't that Harriet standing under that tree?
Oh, yeah, that's her. Pull over to the curb, Miss Brooks.
Yes, sir. Shall I hold the meter?
Hiya, Harriet. My car's all tattered and torn, so Miss Brooks is taking us to the game.
Well, bless your little pointed head. Hello, Miss Brooks.
Hello, Harriet.
How are you, Harriet?
Mr. Boynton. How nice to have you along.
Get that leer out of your voice, Harriet. Mr. Boynton's been spoken for. In fact, he's been spoken and croaked for.
What in the world was that sound?
Oh, this is MacDougal, Harriet, one of my favorite frogs.
You can introduce them formally when we're rolling again. Hop in. Not you, Mac.
We'll get in back. After you, m'lady.
Thank you, my man.
All set? Well, we're off for Clay City.
Oh, don't start yet, Miss Brooks. Daddy's coming down off the porch. Hi, Daddy.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hello, Mr. Conklin.
Bye, Mr. Conklin. That is, how do you do, sir? How's Madison's favorite principal today? Hmm?
At ease. I was just reading about the game with Clay City High. Should be quite a contest.
Oh, yes, sir. That's where we're going today.
At least we're starting today.
Denton, must you sit so close to my daughter?
I'm not sitting close to her, Mr. Conklin. She's sitting close to me. I'm over as far as I can get.
I've got to pin him down, Father. Walter's the elusive type. Of course, he's not a real happy heartache, but he's good for a minor throb or two.
Cut it out, Harriet.
Oh, stop those nonsensical noises. Now, there's quite a bit of work I could do this afternoon, filing reports to the Board of Education and so forth.
You have a nice day for it, Mr. Conklin. Well, we'd be getting along now.
But I got to thinking. Conklin, I said to myself, or rather, Mr. Conklin, I said, you haven't seen a football game in a month of Sundays. Let's take in this Clay City game.
Then you mean you're going along with us? That's just super, Daddy. Isn't it, Walter?
Yeah, super.
Well, it'll be a pleasure to have you along, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, thank you, Boynton. But what about you, Miss Brooks? It's your car. How do you feel about my coming along?
Just ginger peachy, Mr. Conklin. Well, let's get started if we're going. It's getting kind of late, and we want to
I won't be any time at all. I'll go back to the house and ask Mrs. Conklin to speed things up.
Mrs. Conklin?
Yes. She's been out in the yard all morning planting, and she's quite dirty. I'll tell her to hurry with the bath and not fuss much with dressing.
Well, tell her to slip on anything, Mr. Conklin. A loose rug will do.
Well, here we are.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Hello, Miss Brooks, Mr. Boynton.
Hello, Mrs. Conklin.
How are you, ma'am?
Walter's here, too. Hello, Walter.
Hi, Mrs. Conklin. Where do you want to sit?
Well, I think that you two should be separated. So, Martha, if you'll just sit between Walter and Harriet, I'll sit up front between Miss Brooks and Mr. Boynton.
Fine. Now, if we can only get somebody to sit between MacDougal.
I'd better hold him on my lap. There we go, Mac.
Pity he doesn't drive. We could change places. Everybody ready?
We're all set, Miss Brooks. Do you know the road?
Well, not offhand, Mr. Conklin, but I've got some maps in my glove compartment.
Well, I'd better get them out then, Miss Brooks. Should be a very simple matter getting to Clay City. Let's see here. Route 68 into 44, then west. No, it's east, I guess it is, on 106. Well, what are you waiting for, Miss Brooks?
For the directions, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, I'll give you those as we go along. Just start her up.
Well, we're on our way, Harriet.
Oh, isn't it fun, Walter? Please, children, you're squeezing me.
It should happen to both of us.
Miss Brooks, do you mind turning your radio on? I understand there's going to be a new clue on Sing It Again.
All right, Harriet.
Gee, the prizes are up to $26,000.
And here, folks, is your new Sing It Again clue. The Phantom voice is no Ziegfeld girl, but a Ziegfeld guy gave her a whirl.
Thank you. The $26,000 will come in handy.
Who do you think the Phantom voice is, Miss Brooks?
Well, if I knew the answer to that, Harriet, I'd be able to walk right up to your father and say...
Yes, Miss Brooks?
Hello, Mr. Conklin. We've been going quite a while on Route 68. Shouldn't we have switched over to 44 by now?
Are you questioning my directions, Miss Brooks?
Well, no, Mr. Conklin, but...
I was a major in the last war, you know. And as such, spent considerable time in command of a transport group at Camp Bobrick, Ohio. I'm sure we're on the right road. And the caissons go rolling along.
Oh, you have quite a voice, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, thank you, Boynton. I did a bit of singing round the barracks now and then. Yum tum 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 tum.
Oh, that's very cute, Mr. Conklin. Oh, that was Mac, wasn't it? He must be hungry, Mr. Boynton. I know I am. Shall we stop for some lunch at the Blue Goose?
Where's the Blue Goose, Miss Brooks?
Well, I haven't been there since I was a girl, but...
Gosh, Miss Brooks, do you think it's still standing?
Now, just a minute, Walter. How old do you think I am, anyway?
Oh, I'd say you're about...
Of course it's still standing.
There's only one place to go if you want a delicious luncheon. That's the Pink Flamingo.
Where's that, Osgood? You never mentioned it in front of me before.
Well, the last time I went there, I was with a bunch of the boys. Are you sure you can find this Blue Goose, Miss Brooks?
Yes, I think so, Mr. Conklin. Let's see, where are we now?
Well, there's a signboard over there, Route 118. Funny, that isn't on this map at all. You'd better bear left at this fork, Miss Brooks.
Very well, Mr. Conklin, but I don't think we're on the right road. This hill ahead of us is pretty steep. I hope the motor doesn't heat up too much. This radiator's just been patched temporarily.
Well, up we go. Over hill, over down, and the caissons go.
What was that?
The caisson stopped rolling. At least this one did.
I'll get out and look at the motor.
Keep your seat, Mr. Boynton. As head of a transport battalion, I had considerable to do with motors during my tour of duty. Well, let's see. Nothing wrong with the tappets. Radiator's still in one piece. Hand me a hammer, somebody.
There are some tools under this seat, I think.
Oh, here, let's get out. Here we are. Here's a hammer, Mr. Conklin.
Oh, thank you. Now we'll just tap this water pipe here.
Oh, be careful, Mr. Conklin.
Please, Miss Brooks. I know motors backwards. One more good tap should do it.
That did it, all right. Well, let's get out and push, folks. We're off to the nearest garage.
Well, there you are, folks. There you are. Good as new. Nothing would have happened in the first place if some knucklehead hadn't hit the pipes with a hammer.
What? Why, how dare... Why, who do you think... Why have you no...
Who's this huffing and puffing?
Oh, please. This is Mr. Knucklehead. I mean, Mr. Conklin. He's my principal. Oh, now calm down, Mr. Conklin. Remember, everything's all right now. We're off to Clay City.
Where do you figure we are now, Miss Brooks?
Well, I think...
According to my calculations, we've been traveling due east on Route 94 for 1 hour and 10 minutes at an approximate mean speed of 40 miles per hour.
Any tailwind, Mr. Conklin?
Oh, look, we're coming into a town.
Of course we're coming to a town, just as I figured. This is it. Miss Brooks, ask that pedestrian where the stadium is.
What pedestrian?
Hey, look where you're driving!
Oh, that pedestrian. Pardon me, could you tell us where the Clay City Stadium is?
Well, I can't be positive, but my guess would be Clay City.
Well, isn't this Clay City?
No, this is Boonville. If you'd be kind enough to give me a lift home, though, I could show you where Clay City is. I live just a few miles from there in Flagton.
Well, there really isn't much room. We've got 3 in front and 3 in back now.
Well, it's not much of a ride from here. Perhaps I could sit on this gentleman's lap.
What? Sit on my lap?
Oh, better take him, dear. We've only got a short time if we want to see the kickoff.
Oh, very well. Come on.
I hope I'm not too heavy. Sorry, I'll change my position.
Start the car, Miss Brooks.
All right, Mr. Conklin. And this time we're really off to Clay City.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the lift.
You're welcome. Now, how do we get to Clay City from here?
Oh, that's 29 miles back down the road. We passed through it on the way.
What? Why, you...
Hey, so long, folks.
You... 29 miles back? Why, that... We could have been... He said that it was only...
Daddy, remember your blood pressure.
His ears get awful red, don't they?
Now, see here, everybody. We've got to organize this expedition. There's been no unity of command, that's the trouble. Everybody's talking at once. No! Shut that toad up, Boynton.
He's not a toad, Mr. Conklin. MacDougal's a frog.
A giant bullfrog with tonsils.
Quiet, Miss Brooks. Now turn this car around and go that way, and don't stop going that way until I tell you to.
Off to Clay City.
Well, this is Clay City, all right. There's the Clay City National Bank, Clay City Lumberyard. Now, for heaven's sake, Miss Brooks, before you get lost again, ask somebody where the stadium is.
All right, Mr. Conklin. Oh, there's a bus parked over there. I'll ask the driver. Excuse me, but could you tell me where the Clay City Stadium is?
Sure, it's 4 blocks left and 3 right.
Oh, thanks a lot. That's the first definite answer I've had all day.
Well, I ought to know where the stadium is. I got the Clay City team in this bus. We just beat Madison High 89-0.
89-0? May I ask you one more question?
Sure, what is it?
Did they put up a good fight?
Eve Arden as our Miss Brooks returns in just a moment. But first, dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a luster cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you Kay Daumit's magic formula blend of secret ingredients plus gentle lanolin. Gives loveliness lather even in hardest water. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Luster Cream, not a soap, not a liquid, but a dainty cream shampoo, leaves hair fragrantly clean, free of loose dandruff, glistening with sheen, soft, manageable, gives new beauty to all hairdos or permanents. 4-ounce jar, $1. Smaller sizes, either tubes or jars. Tonight, try Luster Cream shampoo and be a dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo. And now, once again, here is our Miss Brooks.
Well, the trip back from Clay City was uneventful. I dropped Walter and the Conklins at their house instead of on their heads. And though I missed the football game, the rest of my plans worked out pretty well. Mr. Boynton asked me to dinner, and without Mr. Conklin in the car, we had no trouble finding the Blue Goose Cafe. Dinner was delightful. The orchestra was playing softly, and Mr. Boynton turned to me and said,
That's my favorite tune, Miss Brooks. Would you care to dance?
Sorry, Mr. Boynton, but I promised this one to Mac.
Next week, tune in to another Our Miss Brooks show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden, is produced by Larry Burns, written and directed by Al Lewis, with music by Wilbur Hatch. Dentists know what cleans teeth best, and over 4,000 dentists say Colgate tooth powder with a 2-minute routine gets teeth sparkling and super clean. So to remove dull film and get your teeth shining clean, just brush teeth 2 minutes morning and night with Colgate tooth powder. Brush inside, outside, and biting surfaces. Always brush away from the gums. See how quickly this gets teeth naturally bright. It removes dull film that improper brushing misses. And Colgate tooth powder also sweetens your breath. Try it. Buy Colgate tooth powder today. For mystery liberally sprinkled with laughs, listen to Mr. and Mrs. North, the exciting, fun-packed adventures of an amateur Park Avenue detective and his beautiful wife. Tune in Tuesday evenings over most of these same stations. And be with us again next week at the same time for another comedy episode of Our Miss Brooks. Bob Lamont speaking. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Railroad Hour. And from Hollywood, here comes the star-studded Show Train. Tonight, your railroads, through the Association of American Railroads, present the charming operetta The Cat and the Fiddle. In our star-studded cast, you will hear the host of our series, Gordon MacRae, two famous guest stars, Miss Risa Stevens and Mr. Adolphe Manjou, and a great cast of Hollywood featured players. Our choir is under the direction of Norman Luboff, and the entire production is set to the music of Carmen Dragon's orchestra, and brought to you by the American Railroads, the same railroads that bring you most of the food you eat, the clothes you wear, the fuel you burn, and the things you use in your daily life. And now, here is Gordon MacRae.
Thank you and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gordon MacRae helping to bring you another in our series of musical comedy successes. Tonight, the Railroad Hour Show Train presents The Cat and the Fiddle, a musical love story by Jerome Kern and Otto Harbach. As our first guest tonight, we are extremely happy to present one of the most charming ladies of the Metropolitan Opera, Miss Risa Stevens, whose lovely voice will be heard in one of the songs she is supposed to have written in her role as Shirley Sheridan, a young American composer.
Try to forget who you have meant to me, all I have meant to you too.
My role this evening is that of Victor Florescu, also a composer. But my music is of the more serious type, as you will hear when I sing, "One moment alone is all that we own, and yet in that instant rain." Also on our guest list is the popular Hollywood motion picture star, Mr. Adolphe Manjou. Mr. Manjou plays a producer of musical shows who seems to prefer Shirley's music to mine when he says,
"That man should be put away, preferably behind bars, where I won't be able to wring his neck."
Our story opens in Paris in the spring. It is dusk, and the setting sun is reflected in the River Seine, which flows by the Quai Voltaire. Here, vendors are busy selling their flowers, their vegetables, their old books and maps. Along the street comes Pompano, a vendor of music selling songs of love. Many are the lovers whose lips have met as Pompano strolled by singing, "La nuit est pour l'amour. La nuit est pour l'amour."
Bravo, bravo, monsieur. Votre chanson est très jolie.
Oh, merci, mademoiselle. Voulez-vous acheter une coupée?
Ah, mon monsieur, non pas aujourd'hui.
Ah, mademoiselle is American, hein?
Is my accent that bad?
Oh, Pompino tells not only by the accent, mademoiselle. He tells by the look in the eye.
The look in the eye?
Certainement. Americans in Paris always have the look of hope that something will happen.
Something?
Oh, but yes, romance.
And don't Frenchmen have a look of hope?
Mademoiselle, Frenchmen do not hope. They know it will happen. Breathe the air. Look around you. Romance is everywhere. And while you sit here on your bench waiting, I have the charming American song for you. Here, I sing it. She didn't say yes. She didn't say no. She didn't say stay. She didn't say go.
She only knew that he'd find her there. And then she knew he sat beside her there.
Mademoiselle knows it.
Mademoiselle wrote it.
Mais no.
Mais yes.
Oh.
See, right there. Words and music by Shirley Sheridan. That's me.
Incredible.
Well, take the music away. I'll show you. She didn't say yes, she didn't say no, she didn't say stay, she didn't say go, she only knew that he'd find her there, And then she knew he sat beside her there. At first there was heard not one little word. Then coyly she took one sly little look, and something awoke and smiled inside. Her heart had started beating wild inside. So what did she do? I leave it to you. She did just what you do too.
She didn't say yes.
She didn't say no.
She didn't say stay.
She didn't say go.
She only knew that he spied her there.
And then she knew he sat beside her there.
At first there was heard not one little word. But she took one sly little look, and something awoke and smiled inside. Her heart began beating wild inside.
So what did she do? I leave it to you.
She did just what you do too.
She didn't say yes. She didn't say no.
Pardon, ma'amselle, for my intrusion, but I just heard that song you sang. You have a fine talent for music.
Thank you.
But what a pity you choose to cheapen it with such a vulgar commercial style.
Well, really?
But your voice, the way you looked. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm a perfect stranger.
No, but you're not. You're Victor Florescu, the prize student in composition at the conservatory.
Oh, you study there, too?
No, I had to stop. I guess you'd call it a lack of woman's tuition.
Was I not right, mademoiselle? In Paris in the spring, it always happens. And now Pompino goes. La nuit est pour l'amour. La nuit est pour l'amour. But I did not go far. This was the first romance of the new spring season for Pompino, and it was still too young to trust without a guiding hand. I leaned against a nearby street lamp to see if I could be of further help.
I'm afraid our friend Pompino was a little too deep for me. What did he mean? It always happens.
Oh, just something silly, Mr. Florescu. I'm glad I met you because I heard your symphony. It was very impressive.
Impressive? Nothing more?
Well, it was very sad and unhappy.
You see, I tried to make it true to life, just as I'm trying in the new operetta I'm composing.
But life isn't always sad. It can be thrilling and exciting and wonderful.
Oh, it is when I look at you. Only twice before have I ever felt like this. The first time I heard Beethoven's Ninth, and then once in the Alps when I saw a sunrise, and now tonight, when I first saw you smile.
Mr. Florescu, back home, that would be called a line.
You're afraid of life, aren't you?
Oh, no, just cautious. For all I know, you may get a feeling like the sunrise over the Alps every afternoon, only with a different girl.
Oh, you know that isn't true. Come have dinner with me.
Oh, you seize opportunity quickly, don't you? It hasn't had a chance to knock even once as yet.
Is that so bad?
Well, I suppose not. For a modern man.
And aren't you a modern girl?
I try to think I am.
Then let me see you to your hotel.
No.
That's not very modern. I know. We'll have dinner at my house.
Now you're getting futuristic. And even from 3,000 miles away, I can hear my Aunt Hester in Boston going...
Very well, then. If you insist on propriety, I'll do the most proper thing I know. In place of a proper introduction, I'll write to you. I'll bombard you with letters until you say I may call. Could anything be more proper?
Well, write to me if you wish. But you must send your letters to the American Express office.
My, you are cautious.
No, just practical. I can stay at my present address just 2 more weeks, then I must find new quarters.
You can write me your address later when you answer my letters. You will answer, won't you?
Perhaps. But if you lose interest, just stop writing. I'll understand.
Lose interest? Oh, that would be like losing interest in life itself. In fact, I shall go now and write the first letter. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Oh, I know what you're thinking, Aunt Hester. But you...
Pompino, you lovable romantic rascal. You've done it again. However, the young man went away without learning the young lady's name. Luckily, Pompino knew that Monsieur Victor Florescu lived at La Petite Maison. So, leaving my lamppost quickly, I approached Miss Shirley and said, pardon, mademoiselle, you are looking for living quarters.
How did you know?
You just told Monsieur Victor.
But that was just between him and me and the lamppost.
I was the lamppost.
Oh.
Pompino, the greatest guide in all Paris, knows just the charming pension for you. La Petite Maison. Flowers, birds, sunshine, a place beloved by artists and musicians, and most reasonable.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, but I can't move there for 2 weeks.
So, Pompino arranges that rooms be held for you. Here is the card with the address on it.
Oh, you're very kind.
My pleasure, mademoiselle.
Oh, this has been such a wonderful day. Good night, and thank you, Pompino.
Bonsoir, mademoiselle. Do not forget La Petite Maison.
I won't.
Now Pompino has truly brought the lovers together. In 2 short weeks, they will be living across the court from each other in La Petite Maison. Just as I was about to give myself a hearty pat on the back, I saw Monsieur Victor returning.
I beg your pardon, mademoiselle. Oh, it's you.
My apologies, monsieur. You have forgotten something, perhaps?
Well, as a matter of fact, I have. I neglected to ask the young lady her name.
Pompino can tell you that, monsieur. It is Sheridan. Miss Shirley Sheridan.
Shirley. Oh, very lovely. It fits her. But the Sheridan part, I think she should consider as just temporary. I wonder if she has ever thought of changing it.
Oh, monsieur, a girl does not think of changing her name every 1,000 miles as if it were motor oil.
Perhaps. But I have a feeling I will change it for her one day. That is, if I ever see her again.
You shall, never fear. Just leave everything to Pompino.
Oh, Pompino, how can I thank you?
You can buy a song from me, one I have written myself. See.
Composers in Paris must be a dime a dozen.
Oh, sing it.
I would rather watch the other fellow strolling down Lover's Lane. Watch him getting soft and mellow with love life on the brain. But how nice, cool as ice, with a sweet bonbon, just to dawdle and wisely smile while I look on. Watch the love parade gaily going by, naughty man and willing maid, mischief in her eye. I see him squeeze her arm, press her little knee, buzzing round each rare fair charm like a busy bee. But when the march is ended and they part, when fears and tears are blended in each heart, I'm very glad I stayed sitting high and dry, looking on the love parade gaily going by. Why, Pompino, that's a very charming melody, but aren't the words a bit sardonic?
That is my philosophy. Let the others fall in love, while I sit back, footloose and fancy-free, watching the parade.
We're the love parade, gaily going by. Naughty man and willing maid, mischief in her eye.
I watch her closely cling to his manly side, thinking thoughts that well might bring blushes to a bride.
But when the march is ended and we part, when tears and fears are blended in each heart,
I'm very glad I stayed sitting high and dry, looking on the love parade, gaily going by.
Watch the love parade, gaily going by, gaily going by.
We'll return to the Cat and the Fiddle in just a moment. But first, here is a bit of information that will interest you. No man is better known for results in the field of research than Charles F. Kettering of General Motors. Speaking of railroads and the research that goes into them, Mr. Kettering said, and I quote, "No matter what other forms of transportation do or what new ones come into being, the railroads will remain the backbone of transportation." And he added, "The amazing progress made by the railroads in their first century is only a promise of what they will do." End of quotation. The progress of which Mr. Kettering spoke is the product of research, carried on not only in the laboratory, but out of the great proving ground of the railroads themselves, plus the investment of billions of dollars in the better cars and engines, tracks and signals, and all the other improvements which research and invention have devised. And right now, to realize the promise of the future to which Mr. Kettering referred, the railroads are carrying forward an ever-increasing and expanding research program.
And now back to The Cat and the Fiddle, starring Risa Stevens, Adolphe Manjou, and yours truly, Gordon MacRae. And here is Pompino to continue our story.
In 2 weeks, just as I had planned, Shirley and Victor were living across the court from each other at La Petite Maison. Before they had a chance to realize it, Victor had callers. Monsieur Jules Daudet, the great theatrical producer, and Odette, the famous prima donna. I happened to be under Victor's window, just listening to the music, of course, as he played one of his new compositions.
Ah, glorious Victor, n'est-ce pas, Jules?
Well, frankly, Odette...
Frankly what, Monsieur Daudet? I'm anxious to hear your smallest criticism.
Oh, Victor, darling, please.
I'll be happy to give you my criticism for rescue. Very happy.
Jules, be calm.
Why should I be calm? I'm a producer. And in my meager experience of some 20 years in the theater, I have discovered that for some reason, audiences do not pay money to listen to funeral music.
As I've told you before, I write only what I feel.
Then feel better. You've got to lighten that score with some brighter numbers.
The score stands exactly as I have planned it.
Victor, darling, Jules, this can all be worked out, and we'll have a wonderful show. Victor, chérie, go back to the piano and play that number you wrote for me in the third act, eh? I'll play too, on my fiddle.
Very well.
Oh, Jules, Jules, listen to me. Victor will do better, I'm sure. Oh, he's just in a mood. 2 weeks ago, he met some little American girl, and instead of working, he began writing long letters to her. So, when she finally answered one, I simply destroyed it before he saw it. Soon he will forget all about her. You know composer.
Yes, too many of them.
Sing the words, Victor, darling, while I play.
Very well. The breeze kissed your hair, knowing you were fair, and all the night seemed to woo. I wanted to, but I did not dare. You filled me with despair. One moment there I sat with you, then vanished from your view. One moment alone, that's all we have known, and yet it seemed paradise had opened its golden portal there in your lovely eyes. One moment alone, 'twas then I was shown a glimpse of an angel fair, too much for a lowly mortal. That's why it ended there. One word or two tenderly spoken, gay little laugh, sad little sigh, then all old dreams suddenly broken, everything changed under the sky. One moment alone is all that we own, and yet in that instant rare, life fashioned her one perfection. why it ended there.
Well, Victor, there's no denying it has beauty, but such somberness can only induce mass melancholia.
Listen to that. That's all I need. New neighbors with a passion for trash. Is that the sort of thing you want, Monsieur Daudet?
Not bad. In fact, just the sort of thing I want.
Then you're in the wrong studio.
Very possibly. Au revoir, Odette.
As Monsieur Daudet left Victor's room, the spot where I had been lolling under his window grew suddenly quite uncomfortable. So I followed Daudet across the court because I noticed a bench outside of Shirley's window that would be a much better place for me. To rest, of course. I settled myself just as Daudet knocked on Shirley's door.
Come in.
May I? My name is Jules Daudet.
The producer?
Yes, but don't hold it against me.
Oh, I should say not. I'm Shirley Sheridan.
You are quite as lovely as the tune you were playing. Did you compose it, Miss Sheridan?
I'm afraid I'm the guilty party.
I'm looking for some songs like that for a new operetta I'm producing. Would you mind playing it again?
Well, I'd be happy to. Try to forget, won't you? All you have meant to me. All I have meant to you too. I'm sending back to you the things you said to me. Your daydreams, your gay dreams, your glad dreams, your mad dreams. Yet don't forget, will you, that memories haunt me too. Is what they want me to do. To go on just doing my best to forget. So I'll remember you.
Charming, charming. I know just the spot in the play for that number. I'll fill the stage with dancers in Latin American costumes. As they dance, they'll sing.
Try to forget, won't you, all you have meant to me, and all I've meant to you too. I'm sending back to you the things you said to me. Your daydreams, your gay dreams, your glad dreams, your mad dreams.
Yet don't forget, will you, that memories haunt me too. Is what they want me to do. To go on just doing my best to forget. So
Marvelous, marvelous. That's just the spirit that needs to be injected into the score that headstrong young composer has written.
Injected? But I couldn't do that, Monsieur Daudet. I know how a composer would feel having someone else alter his score.
There goes the happiness boy across the court again. That's the composer whose operetta I'm considering, Victor Florescu.
Florescu?
Yes, he has loads of talent, but egotistical. Thinks no one composes anything good but himself. You should have heard what he said about your composition.
He didn't like it?
He called it trash, but no matter. His show will not be produced without lighter music. He'll argue but Odette is used to calming him.
Odette?
Yes, the star of the show. And of course, she has a personal interest in him, very personal.
And he has a personal interest in her?
Definitely. Although it's apparent he dabbles elsewhere from time to time.
Oh, he dabbles, does he? Well, Monsieur Daudet, I'll write as many songs for Victor Florescue's operetta as you can use. I'm something of a dabbler myself.
Lesser genius than Pompino would have given up hope to see his favorite romance fall so far asunder. I did not know how, but I was sure that someday, somehow, I would bring those two together in happiness in spite of themselves. So, on the night that Shirley was to play her music for Victor at Daudet's apartment, I, quite coincidentally, was standing near his window, enjoying the view of the lovely Bois.
Oh, Jules, I'm so nervous about tonight.
But you needn't be, my dear. When Victor hears your songs, well, not even that mad genius could resist your charm. Ah, Shirley, my dear, if I was sure that no one else had a claim on your heart, I would... that will be Odette and Victor. You can depend on him for bad timing. Now, don't worry. If Victor won't permit your numbers in the show, there will be no show.
Ah, bonjour, Jules, mon cher.
Well, Odette, come in. And Victor, how are you?
Well, where's this composer? Let's get it over with. I promised I'd listen, so... Shirley.
Good evening, Victor.
Ah, you two know each other? Well, that makes it all the better.
Yes, it gets better and better all the time.
Now, what's the matter with him?
Jules, please, no quarreling tonight.
Oh, Shirley, this is Mademoiselle Odette, Miss Sheridan.
Ah, how do you do, Mademoiselle Sheridan? I'm always interested in Jules' protégés. He's so generous with them.
I'm sure you speak from experience, mademoiselle.
I wish somebody would tell me what's wrong with everybody.
Oh, nothing's wrong, Jules, darling. Should I begin my additions to the score?
Of course. Sit down, Odette. Victor?
I'll stand.
Naturally.
This is not my own composition, Mr. Florescu, but a rewrite of one of yours.
I'm sure it's a great improvement.
Oh, I tried to make it a little happier, more optimistic.
As I remember, you thought life is wonderful and exciting. I'm glad you found what you were looking for.
Florescu, would you mind letting her get on with the thing? All right, Shirley, my dear.
Perhaps Mr. Florescu would join me.
I'd be
Victor!
charmed.
Thank you, Mr. Florescu. One moment alone, that's all we have known, and yet it seems paradise had opened its golden portal there in your lovely eyes. One moment alone, 'twas then I was shown a glimpse of an angel fair, too much for immortal. That's why it ended there. One word or two, tenderly spoken, gay little laugh, sad little sigh. Then all our dreams suddenly broken, everything changed under the sky. One moment alone is all that we own, and yet in that instant there, my passion, her one perfection, that's why it ended there.
Bravo. Now wait till you hear the next one.
Well, I, for one, intend to hear no more. Victor's beautiful music ruined.
Odette.
I will listen to no more. If you wish to see me, I will be in my apartment.
And what do you think, Victor?
Unfortunately, Monsieur Daudet, that is also my opinion. Easy, commercialized emotion sickens me. Good night.
That man should be put away. Preferably behind bars, where I won't be able to wring his neck.
Victor, Victor, please.
Oh, forget Victor, my dear. Frankly, I'm not at all sorry they've left us. Come, my dove. I have a bottle of Napoleon brandy I've been saving for just such an occasion. What does the most beautiful composer in all Paris say to that?
What does she say, Jules? Da-da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Well, I don't quite understand.
She wanted to stay, but thought she should go. She wasn't so sure that he'd be good. She wasn't even sure that she'd be good. She wanted to rest, all cuddled and pressed, a popular part of somebody's heart. She loved to be en rapport with him, but not behind a folded door with him. So what did she do? I leave it to you. She did just what I'll do too. Good night, Jules.
Shirley, come back, my dove.
I'm not a dove. I'm a homing pigeon.
Mademoiselle Sheridan.
Pompino.
When Pompino decides to watch over someone, he watches. Come, I'll take you home, my pigeon. My bicycle is here.
Bicycle?
A tandem, with room for two. Have you never bicycled through the bois in the moonlight?
There's always a first time. Let's go.
Mademoiselle, you are comfortable?
Yes, but not very happy.
You and that young composer, you're having trouble, huh?
Oh, Pompano, I don't understand it. I fixed his music and did all I could for him, and did he appreciate it? No. He laughed at it and left with Odette, that cat with her fiddle.
You must not jump to conclusions. Perhaps there is a reason, a very simple one. If you will but go to him and give him a chance to explain.
Well, I...
Oh, but of course, if Mademoiselle insists on being stubborn,
No, Pompino, no. Take me to him. Take me as quickly as you can. Nothing matters except love. The night was made for love. The night was made for love. The day has eyes for sweet, delicate charm. But nighttime sighs for soft, hungry arms. To lovingly hold you while two lips on fire have ardently told you of sweet desire. For like caressing an empty glove,
here we are, mademoiselle. And there is Victor's door. Go quickly, up the stairs with you.
Victor, are you there? Victor, it's Shirley. Please let me in.
What goes on in here? Oh, it is you, Mademoiselle Sheridan. Your studio is on the other side of the court.
Madame, has Monsieur Florescu come in yet?
Oh, mais oui. In like a storm and then right out again like a hurricane. Bag and baggage.
Bag and baggage? He's gone?
He say he's through with Paris for life. And if any mail come for him, tear it up. I go back to bed now. Bonsoir, mademoiselle.
Bonsoir, madame. Oh, Victor, I loved you so.
Here's a bit of news which means something to everybody who uses transportation. And in this country, that's all of us. The other day, the Association of American Railroads completed arrangements to build a new railroad research laboratory. It's going to be located on the campus of the Illinois Institute of Technology at Chicago. From this laboratory, much of the widespread engineering and mechanical research of the industry will be directed. This new development is completely in line with the long-time practice of the railroad industry. For many years, research has been carried on by and for the railroads in the laboratories of universities and technological institutions, and manufacturers of railroad supplies and equipment. Research has been carried on, too, on the railroads, which, in addition, have served as the proving grounds for the testing and trial of ideas, no matter where developed. There are two things we should keep in mind about all railroad research. One is that railroads don't make things to sell. They buy things, all sorts of things, from manufacturers and use them to produce transportation service. As a service industry, therefore, railroads receive the benefits of research done by almost every manufacturing industry in the country. And another thing to remember is that the railroads which serve you can never shut down to retool for next year's models. So everything new that is introduced on a railroad must work right along with what is already there during a necessary period of transition. That's why progress on the railroads is and must be an evolution, a growth, not a revolution. This new research laboratory to be built by the Association of American Railroads on the Illinois Technology Campus is another forward step in a long-continued cooperative program that is going forward today more actively and on a broader front than ever before. You will see its results more and more in the new equipment coming into service on the railroads in ever-increasing numbers, just as one part of what Mr. Kettering called the amazing progress of the railroads. The show train will return in just a moment after a brief pause for station identification.
Now back to The Cat and the Fiddle, starring Reza Stevens, Adolphe Manjou, and yours truly, Gordon MacRae. And here's Pompano continuing the story.
For days I searched all Paris, but I could find not one trace of Victor. Then one day, as I was passing Shirley's window, I heard her talking to Dode.
No, Jules, my mind is made up. I'm sailing for America on the first boat I can get, and I won't allow any of my songs to be used in Victor's score.
You're throwing away your big chance, my dear.
I'm sorry, Jules, but that's final. Come in.
Mademoiselle.
Oh, what is it, Pompano?
Mademoiselle, you must give up this thought of going to America.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pompano, but there's no reason for me to stay now.
Just because your composer has vanished. All you have to do is get him back.
Well, he'll never come back.
But of course he will. He composed this operetta, no?
Yes.
And Monsieur Daudet wants to produce it if some of your songs are used, no?
Of course I do.
Then let it be produced.
Pompano, what are you talking about?
Mademoiselle, angry lions could not keep a composer away from hearing the opening night of his first operetta.
Oh, Pompano, I think you might be right. You're a genius.
Naturellement, the greatest genius in all Paris.
Shirley, I'll give it the most brilliant opening this town has ever seen.
For once it appeared that Pompino, the greatest student of human nature in all Paris, was wrong. At the opening of the operetta, Shirley and I stood in the lobby, watching every member of the audience. But nowhere did we see Victor. Patiently we waited all through the show.
Oh, Pompano, what a pity Victor can't hear how everyone loves his music.
Mademoiselle is too generous. They like your music, too.
But listen, they're going to do the finale now, and I didn't touch one note of it. It's all Victor.
calling for you, mademoiselle.
No, it's for Victor. Victor who isn't here.
Look. Monsieur Daudet is out on the stage.
Messieurs, mesdames, I thank you for the manner in which you have received tonight's operetta. You have called for the author. Actually, there are two of them, but I can only guarantee producing one.
I won't go up there.
This one is standing in the wing, where he has been standing all evening. Monsieur Victor Flores.
Victor Pomino, did you hear?
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed tonight's production, it was because of my collaborator. For it was she who supplied the happiness that is in it. And if she is in the audience, I beg her to come up here and stand beside me where she belongs. Are you out there, Shirley?
Yes, Victor, yes, here I am.
Run, go up there.
Yes, Pompano.
Shirley, my darling, are you coming?
Yes, Victor, yes.
Here, my dear, right up those steps.
Oh, thank you, Jules.
I've lost you, but what hits I'll get out of you and Victor.
Shirley, my darling, kiss me.
No, in front of this whole audience?
Why, even your Aunt Hester would approve this time. I'm asking you to marry me.
Oh, Victor.
Give us the song! Hey! All right, you two. Save that clinch till later. Sing.
The nighttime sighs for soft, hungry arms. The night was made for love.
So with a sigh, I, Pompino, the greatest romantic genius in all Paris, slipped out of the theater. Mission completed. So very glad to be sitting high and dry, looking on night was made for love. The night was made for
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gordon MacRae giving a special vote of thanks to our guest stars this evening, Miss Risa Stevens and Mr. Adolphe Manjou, and to the other members of tonight's cast for their fine performances in our production of The Cat and the Fiddle, which was adapted for radio by Mr. Don Ettlinger. Next week, our star-studded show train will arrive on the same tracks at the same time. On board will be the Metropolitan Opera soprano, Miss Dorothy Kirsten, and Kenny Baker to join me in bringing you the famous Sigmund Romberg operetta, The Student Prince, with our chorus under the direction of Norman Luboff and the music arranged and conducted by Carmen Dragon.
All aboard!
Well, it looks as though we're ready to pull out. So until next week, goodbye. And remember, during the coming week, as always, the American railroads will provide for you the dependable, low-cost transportation which is so essential to the American way of living.
The Fiddle has been presented by special arrangement with Ham's Whitmark Music Library. Mr. Marshall will soon be seen in the Warner Brothers picture My Dream Is Yours. Gordon MacRae appeared on this program by arrangement with Warner Brothers. This is Marvin Miller speaking. The Railroad Hour is brought to you each week at this time by the Association of American Railroads.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
10 p.m. BULOVA, Bulliver Watch Time. For supreme accuracy, expert design, and outstanding value, choose a Bulliver, masterpiece of fine watchmaking. WEAF, New York.
Lever Brothers, makers of Rinso, R-I-N-S-O, Soapy Rich Rinso, presents Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris.
Steve. I got my foot on the floor now. You gotta do something, then we'll never lose that car that's chasing us. Don't talk. Lean out and see if you can hit a tire. Okay. Well? Missed. Hey, watch that curve. I'll take care of the driving. Try it again. Try and hold this bus steady, will you? I'm doing the best I can. I've been fighting this wheel for 20 minutes. Now, after I swing around that next curve, I'll slow up. Try and get that tire again. Okay. Here goes. I got her, Steve. She's heading right for the telegraph pole. What a crack up. Them plainclothes cops in that car ain't going to interrupt another one of our hijack jobs. Plainclothes cops? Those ain't no cops. The driver of the car that just wrapped around the telegraph pole is Boston Blackie.
In a moment, we'll meet Boston Blackie. Enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friend. But first, a fashion note for summer. The spotlight is certainly on cotton, and that's not just my idea. I was looking through a couple of those fancy fashion magazines, and every page had something about crisp, colorful cotton dresses, cotton evening things, daytime dresses, and so on. Well, speaking from the man's point of view, I'm for it. Those printed cottons are certainly mighty pretty. And speaking from the soapy rich Rinso's point of view, it's easy as a breeze to keep them crisp and colorful. Rinso's rich suds are gentle and safe for washable colors. Leave their bright colors gay and sparkling week after week. And it's so easy to do a Rinso wash. A short soaking, a few quick finger rubs on extra soiled places, and your clothes are ready to rinse. Really Rinso white and Rinso bright, too. So next wash day, be sure you have Rinso on hand to give you a hand. And now, here is Chester Morris as Boston Blackie.
Tell me, Blackie, how does your wrist feel, huh?
Oh, just a slight sprain, Shorty. But we're lucky. We might have been killed when those thugs got our front tire last night. I thought for a moment we were killed.
Hey, Blackie, let's stay up here in your apartment and mind our own business for a while, huh? At least until I get over that shaking up I got.
Well, we weren't looking for trouble. We were just driving along and...
Yeah. I know. Always that and. That's what gets us into more jams.
All right, so we went for a drive. Nothing unusual in that?
No, but why'd you have to notice that big sedan was parked right in front of a truck and two guys were holding up the driver?
Well, I always feel sorry for the guy on the other end of a gun.
Yeah, but listen, boy, if you want to listen to... You too, Shorty. Up high, way up. Yeah, all right. I cover, Mike. Okay. So the crack up didn't kill you guys, huh? The boss sent us to find out. You have more lives than a cat, Blackie.
Yes, I've got 10.
And that means you rats better look out. Hey, that's good, ain't it, Blackie?
It's wonderful, Shorty. Say, what are you mugs doing here?
The boss didn't like the idea of you interfering with that hijack job last night.
Oh, well, I don't like the idea of having my car wrecked either, Stooge.
We ain't interested in what you like. We got a pretty good setup, Blackie.
Well, I'm so glad. That's fine.
Yeah, we got a lot of meat tied up, and we're getting good prices for it.
Well, what do you want me to see me about? What's the catch?
The boss wants to know if you want in on the racket.
What?
Yeah. See, he don't want no more interference from you. That's the catch.
Oh, black market, huh? Well, if I say no, what does the boss say?
He says we should give you a little treatment.
Oh, and by the way, who is your boss?
Never mind.
Well, how do I know your boss is a reasonable guy?
Hey, where you going?
Now, don't be scared, Stooge. You know, I always talk when I'm thinking. After all, you're the one that's got the gun.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, boys, I've finished thinking. I guess I have no choice, huh? Well, tell the boss I'll go along with him.
Now you're talking sense.
Well, I guess that makes us partners, huh, boys? Say, how about a little drink on that?
Yeah, I'll take a snort.
Fine. I'm sorry. All I've got is bourbon.
That's okay with me.
Uh-huh. With soda?
Yeah.
Well, come on, boys. I'll build you a couple. Say when, Steve.
When? Look, I gotta hold this gun on you, Blackie. It ain't that I'm impolite. It's just that I'm careful.
You flatter me. How much soda?
Gee, I never had it with soda before.
Really? You haven't? Well, you're going to get it.
All right, give it.
All right, Shorty, I'll take care of this one.
Okay, boss. Okay, I got his gun.
Why, you... All right, take it easy, Steve. Now, cut out the nonsense. I've got your gun. Now, be a good boy. You wanted an answer for your boss, huh? Well, you have it. Now, get out of here. And in the future, boys, remember, never drink during business hours.
Say, boss, did you know that it was 103 in Needles yesterday?
That's an enlightening breakfast conversation, Shorty.
Thanks.
Never mind, I'll get it.
Boston Blackie?
That's right.
Sorry to disturb you so early in the morning.
Well, won't you come in?
Thank you.
Shorty, another cup of coffee for Miss,
Parker. June Parker.
Well, Miss Parker, you're a charming eye-opener for so early in the morning.
Boston Blackie, I need your help.
And I'm glad to know you, too.
As a matter of fact, you've already helped me.
I have?
Mm-hmm. My driver tells me you helped one of my trucks get through the other night.
One of your trucks?
Yes.
Well, I don't quite understand.
This may sound a little strange to you, but I have a ranch and I raise stock.
Yes?
I've sold a lot of cattle, only I can't deliver it to my customers.
Oh, I see. And your trucks are being hijacked by that black market gang, huh?
Yes. That's why I came to you. Will you help me get them through?
That's the second offer to go in the meat business that I've had in the last 24 hours. Why don't you go to the police, Miss Parker? I'm sure Inspector Faraday would be glad to give you protection.
I've gone to the police, but my trucks still aren't getting through.
You're really in a jam. Those black market thugs are worse than any racketeers we've ever had in this country.
I'd been offered any amount if I'd fell to the black market. But I won't, not for anything.
Of course you won't.
Then you'll help me?
Now, look, Miss Parker, it isn't only helping you, it's helping me. It's helping everybody. The black market is one of the biggest things we've ever been up against. And you're fighting that black market. You're the kind of a girl who's helping win this war.
Coffee's ready, boss.
Forget the coffee, Shorty. We've got a job to do. The biggest job we've ever done.
That's you, Matthews?
Yes, Inspector.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute. Got to finish writing this letter. Hey, Matthews, how do you spell stupidity?
F-A-R-A-D-A-Y.
F-A-R... Oh, it's you, Blackie. I should have known. Matthews can't spell. All right, what do you want here?
I don't know. What have you got here?
One of these days, we're going to have you here, in a cell.
Faraday, you're nothing but an idealist. I've been lonely. You haven't been bothering me lately. What's the matter? Don't you love me anymore?
I love you anyway. I love you like poison ivy. What do you want, Blackie?
Well, Faraday, my life has been threatened. I want police protection.
You're wonderful. You want police protection, Blackie. Stop
Now, wait a minute, Faraday. I'm serious. There's a gang after me, and they're not fooling.
Poor little Blackie. I'd like to see the gang that you couldn't handle. What is this, a gag?
No, wait a minute. I'm on the level.
Blackie, you're breaking my heart. You've never been on the level with me in your life, so why should I start believing you now?
Oh, so you won't give me police protection, huh?
Don't make me laugh.
Okay, Faraday. That's all I wanted to know.
Blackie wants protection.
No! Got him, Mike. Help me get him into the car. Come on. Let's get out of here. Boston Blackie's going for a long trip.
Well, it looks as though Boston Blackie's in a pretty tight spot. But Blackie is also a pretty resourceful individual, so just wait and see what happens. We used to have a nice hand-embroidered motto hung up on our wall that said, "True friends are like diamonds, precious and rare." How well that applies in wartime to the washing machine. Yes, ma'am, if you're lucky enough to have a washer, keep in mind that it's your true friend and take care of it. One way is to follow the advice of the makers of 33 leading washers and use Rinso. You see, Soapy Rich Rinso gets out more dirt. And with such a short run, it's easy not only on your clothes, but on your washer. And Rinso results are something to see. All your white clothes gleaming, sparkling. Sure, Rinso white. And colors washable, Rinso bright. So be sure to put Rinso, R-I-N-S-O, right on top of tomorrow's shopping list. And now, back to Chester Morris as Boston Blackie. Well, Boston Blackie, intent on breaking up a black market meat ring, was waylaid by thugs as he was leaving police headquarters where Inspector Faraday had just refused him police protection. Blackie has been thrown into a car.
Hey, Steve, he's coming too. Must be this country air. Stop the car. Okay, let's get this over with. I'll take the gag out of his mouth.
Yeah, nobody can hear him out here.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I want to get my necktie back anyway. The best one I got. My girl gave it to me. She's a redhead. Says it matches her hair.
You know, it's too bad she ain't a brunette.
Yeah, you just don't like redheads.
Hey, never mind putting on your tie now. Leave it there in the seat and let's get this job over with. Come on, Blackie. Can you talk?
Well, what is this, the end of the line?
No. This is where we transfer.
Okay, boys. What's the score?
2-0, and you're the nothing. Blackie, can you stand up?
Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, you better stand up while you can, Blackie. You're going to be laying down for a long time.
You have a charming sense of humor.
You had a chance to join up with us, Blackie. You nixed it, and now you're getting rubbed out.
Oh, boss's orders, huh?
Yeah, and besides, it gives us a chance to get even for that soda trick yesterday.
I see.
Get over that fence, Blackie.
Say, what is this, an obstacle course?
Yeah, and you're the obstacle.
Hey, Steve. Hey, what's that over there?
Huh? Nothing. It's just a cow.
That happens to be the cow's husband, gentlemen.
Gee, a bull. Hey, if a bull sees red, he goes crazy.
What's the matter? You scared, Mike? Now we gotta finish our job. Okay, Blackie? Anything you want to say? Any last request?
Well, I'd like to start running, gentlemen, if you don't mind, and I'm sure you would, too.
What?
That bull's coming this way, and fast.
Hey, he's after me. Hey, he's after me! He's after me!
Thanks for the gun, Steve.
Hey, let's get out of here, will
Now,
you?
don't worry, Steve. The bull's after Mike. You see, I stuck his own red necktie in his back pocket.
Who's there?
It's me, June. Boston Blackie.
Oh, Blackie, just a minute. Well, please come in. I'm glad to see you, Blackie.
Thanks. I'd like some information, June. These gents we're up against are playing a little rough.
Oh, Blackie, what happened?
Well, I went to Faraday for protection. He didn't believe I needed it. Next thing I knew, I was tapped on the head and ended up in a cow pasture playing Matador.
Blackie.
Now, look, June, all I want to know is just one thing. You told me that somebody tried to get you to sell your cattle to the black market ring. I want to know who that somebody is.
Well, I can't tell you. I don't know.
Oh, if you're being afraid, don't be. I'll see that nothing happens to you, and it's also a little bit important that nothing happens to me, too. Now, look, all I want to know is who approached you on that black market deal?
Well, some men who said they represented a Mr. George Williams.
Williams? Well, who's he?
I don't know him. He has a wholesale meat plant on Johnson Street.
Yes.
But, Blackie, I've never seen him.
Quiet, June.
What's the matter?
The doorknob, it's turning.
Oh.
Now, I'll be in back of the door when it opens, but you keep on talking.
Okay. But, Blackie, I don't know whether I can go to dinner with you or not. Oh.
Okay, drop those guns. Now, drop them fast. I'm right here in back of you. Better drop your gun, too, Steve. Well, you two matadors again, huh? This is getting a little monotonous. How far did that bull chase you this morning? I'm a little fed up with you two guys. June.
Yes, Blackie.
Take the cord off those drapes. I want to tie up these two bullfighters. Then I've got to go over and see a man by the name of George Williams.
Blackie, I'm afraid
You don't have to be afraid, June. Oh, when Blackie ties them up, they stay tied. And when I get through with this, you'd better call the police and have them pick up these mugs. And I gotta work fast.
Hey, Miss Parker. You ain't gonna call no police.
What? What do you mean?
And besides, you're gonna untie us right now. Or else the boss won't like it.
You mean Mr. Williams?
No, Miss Parker. You see, Williams ain't his name. His real name is Parker. Parker, yeah. George Parker, your brother. Now, will you untie our hands?
I don't know what you're talking about, Blackie. I operate a legitimate business here. I sell only at ceiling prices.
I came up here to tell you I'm tired of being kicked around by those two mugs of yours. And also that you're going to lay off June Parker.
June Parker? Who's she?
Well, she's the girl you've been threatening. You know, the one that owns the trucks you've been hijacking. But you won't do it anymore. You see, I'm taking you with me.
You're taking me with you?
That's right. You're going to be my insurance that from now on, this black market gang of yours is unemployed.
What are you going to do with me?
What's he going to do with you? He ain't going to do anything with
Faraday, I'm glad you're here.
you. Yeah, I'll bet you are.
Inspector, my secretary had the good sense to call you. And I'm glad you got here so fast.
Mm-hmm. What's Boston Blackie been up to now?
He held me here in my office at the point of a gun, Inspector. He was going to force me to go with him unless...
Unless what?
Unless I stopped selling meat at ceiling prices and went into the black market.
Now, wait a minute, Faraday. That's ridiculous. You know that can't be right.
I don't know nothing.
Oh, you know a thing or two. You're just being modest.
I'm a reputable merchant, Inspector. I've been in business for years. This Blackie person wanted me to make this plant his headquarters for illegal meat sales.
Now, Faraday, listen. He claims I pulled a gun on him. I don't even have a gun.
It was in his hand when you came in the door, Inspector.
With Blackie, that don't make any difference. He can make anything disappear.
Thanks.
Someday I hope he goes to work on himself.
This Williams is head of a black market ring.
That's not true.
Not only that, but he's got a couple of thugs that have an obsession about my collecting old age pensions.
That's ridiculous. Please take Blackie with you, Inspector. I'll prefer charges.
Now, wait a minute, Inspector. I know I've tricked you, and we've been playing hide and go seek for years.
Go on.
But I've never gone back on my word, now have I?
That's right.
And I'm not going to try any tricks. I just want you to come with me to a young lady's apartment.
Oh, now,
No,
Black-
really, I want you to meet two friends of Mr. Williams.
Hmm.
And if I can't prove that my story is true, well, I'll go downtown with you. Now, nothing could be fairer than that.
Sounds all right. But then you can make anything sound okay. You want me to see a gal who'll set me right on this whole thing?
That's right.
Okay, Blackie. I'll give you a chance to square yourself, but remember, this better not be a runaround.
This is the apartment, Inspector. Come on in.
Who is it?
Oh, it's me, June. It's Blackie. I'm here with Inspector Faraday.
Who?
Inspector Faraday.
Wait a minute. I'm coming. Well, hello.
Hello, June. Would you mind telling the inspector about that black market ring that threatened you?
What black market ring?
Well, you know that the... June.
I'm Miss Parker. And who are you?
That's all, Blackie. I've heard enough.
June. Now, what happened to those two men I left tied up here at your apartment?
Inspector, who is this man?
Don't you know? He says he's a very dear friend of yours.
Why, I've never seen him before in my life. And now, will you excuse me, please?
Okay, Blackie. We made a deal. This gal who was supposed to explain everything claims she never saw you before. Come on, let's go.
No, I can't go with you, Inspector. I've got to find out what this is all about.
Sorry, Blackie. Figure it out while you're waiting trial.
Faraday, will you listen? This girl is lying, and I can prove it. If you give me time.
I'll give you time, Blackie. You're coming with me. And keep your hands where I can see them. Now, come on over here to the telephone. I'm going to get you an escort downtown.
Okay, Inspector, but you're making a great mistake.
According to you, I always make them. So what's the difference? Remember, Blackie, I'm keeping my eye and my gun on you. Get me police headquarters. Blackie, stop playing with that telephone cord. You make me nervous.
I'm not playing with it, Inspector. There.
Get that wire off my gun, Blackie. Hey, stop you twisting that gun. You're breaking my wrist.
I'm sorry, Inspector. Now let go of the gun.
You're going back on your word.
That's
You're
better.
going back on your word now. You never did that before.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've got to be free to get the head of that black market ring. And put a ring right through his nose. Shorty?
Hey, open up, will you, boss?
Wait a minute. Come in, Shorty. Well, Oh, what are you doing here?
She made me bring her down here to your waterfront hideout, boss.
Well, that's fine. What do you mean she made you?
She came to the apartment and she was crying.
Oh.
Boss, you know I can't stand to see a poor dame cry.
Blackie, you've got to listen to me.
Yeah, I listened to you once.
I know I lied to Inspector Faraday, but I had to.
Well, that's fine. Why don't you tell it to Faraday?
I can't tell Inspector Faraday I lied. I can't.
You can't do this. You can't do that. You sound like the Summer Sisters. Why did you make Shorty bring you down here?
So that I could beg you to please forget all about me and the black market ring.
Oh, well, forgetting about you will be a pleasure.
I don't blame you for feeling that way. But believe me, it's for the good of everyone for you to forget about all this.
Believe you? Are you kidding?
You almost did once.
Yeah, I almost died once, too. And I've no desire to try that again, either.
You wanted to help me when I was in trouble, Blackie. I'm still in trouble. But the only way you can help me now is to drop this whole black market case.
Mm-hmm. And you're the girl I thought was going to help win the war.
Oh, Blackie, please.
June, there's no point in your coming here to see me.
But, George, I didn't even know you were here in the city. And then to find out what you're doing. How in the world did you ever get started on this?
Just why should I explain that to you, June?
I can't understand you. And Dad couldn't either. When you ran away from the ranch 5 years ago, you broke Dad's heart. And not hearing from you after that didn't help any.
I don't see why you should complain. Dad left the ranch to you, didn't he?
Yes, but what else could he do?
But it's worked out all right anyway. You've done a good job, Joan, raising good cattle. That's helped me in my business.
But black market, George. You call that a business?
I don't go for those names. All I know is I'm making money. And incidentally, Joan, it wasn't in my plans that you should know who I am. And it's your own fault that you do. You got mixed up with this Boston Blackie, and I had something to do about it.
Well, this is convenient, finding the two of you here together.
Boston Blackie.
Blackie.
Well, now who wants to talk first? You, Williams?
I got nothing to say to you, Boston Blackie.
Oh, I see. How about you, June?
I can't tell you anything.
Well, let me tell you then. Williams, you ought to pick smarter stooges. Or I might say you ought to pick a dumb stooge, one who can't talk. You see, Steve talked. With a little persuasion, of course, but he talked. So, Williams, I know that you're really Parker, June's brother.
But, Blackie,
Now, June, that explains a great deal, too. Of course, you made Faraday very happy by pretending not to know me, but you didn't make me very happy.
Oh, please, Blackie, you've got to listen to me. Look, I didn't know that my brother was going under the name of Williams. And when I found out, I was so stunned, I didn't know what to do. Except I knew I couldn't turn him over to the police. Now I know he deserves to be.
Swell sister I got, huh?
Yes, I think so.
Blackie, you said it was very convenient having two of us here. Well, I think it's very convenient having the two of you here. And this gun is very convenient, too. Put them up, both of you.
Georgie, did anyone ever tell you what happens to little boys who play with fire?
Both of you stuck your noses into my business. June always did, and I'm used to that. And anyway, she's my sister, but I don't have to take it from you, Boston Blackie.
Well, you have something there, Georgie. Not to mention the gun. June, would you please leave the room? If I'm right in supposing what your charming brother intends to do with me, it won't be very pretty.
George, you wouldn't.
Now, please, June, do as I say.
But, Blackie,
Please, June.
Oh, it's all my fault. I got you into this. I didn't know that... Oh, my own brother. Oh, Blackie, I thought...
You know, June, for a man raised on a ranch, your brother isn't very quick on the trigger.
Oh,
Personally, I'm very glad because it gave me a chance to show him his mistake.
Blackie, what did you do to George? Can I see him?
Well, a little later. He's busy right now, you see. He's got 1,000 pounds of steaks hanging in his wholesale plant, and he's looking for one little piece of beef to put on his eye.
Yeah, Blackie, I guess I'll forget about you going back on your word.
Good old inspector. I had a pretty good reason, you know.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, you broke up this black market ring, and I get the credit.
Thanks.
You know, sometimes I find it kind of hard to hate you.
Well, keep trying, Inspector. You know you're much prettier with a worried look on your face.
You know, this thing kind of calls for a celebration, Blackie.
Yeah?
You and I break up a black market gang, and 1 million people can buy beef at reasonable prices. What do you think we ought to do?
Well, let's see, Inspector. How about coming up to the apartment for a home-cooked steak dinner?
Shall I bring anything?
Yes. Points.
Boston Blackie will be back in just a moment with an interesting preview of next week's program. Meanwhile, let's see now. There are the dishes, the floors, the woodwork, the tiles, sink, windows. Hey, I could keep this up for hours. Listing the jobs at Rinso will make easier for you. Yes, those same soapy rich suds that are such a help when it comes to washing clothes are great for all the soap and water jobs around the house. So be sure to get Rinso tomorrow, ladies, for dishes, housework, and to keep you singing through wash day like this.
Rinso white, Rinso white, happy little wash day song. Rinso white, Rinso white,
Birdies sing it all day long. Your fine feathered friend has a message to send, so listen, you can't go wrong. Rinso, white, rinso, white, happy little wash day song.
Yeah, Matthews, I know the guy's dead. You said that. Now listen, did you find the gun?
Sure, we found it. It was hooked up inside the radio. When the guy turned the set on, it fired the gun.
I get it. Hey, was the telephone receiver off the hook?
Sure, when we broke down the door. Hey, Inspector, how could you know that?
Just so happens that's the way a guy was killed in a play I've been watching. Somebody lifted the idea, and I've got an idea who that somebody was.
Yeah? Who, Inspector?
The man who's backing this play, a fellow by the name of Boston Blackie.
Tough luck, ladies. I mean about choice cuts of lamb going back on rationing. Means you've got to be smarter than ever at figuring ways to fix the meals your families want, especially since you don't have as many points as you used to. Well, the smartest thing to do is to get extra points by turning in waste fats. You know, your meat dealer will give you cash and 2 red points for every pound you turn in. So get going. You'll be doing yourself a favor and your country an important service. For used fats are urgently needed for military medicines, armaments, and a host of things so necessary to win this war. Strain every drop into any tin can, no glass containers, please, and turn them in as soon as you have a pound. Be sure to listen at this same time next week for another exciting adventure with Boston Blackie. You can see Chester Morris as Boston Blackie on the screen at your favorite movie theater. Boston Blackie's latest Columbia picture is One Mysterious Night, soon to be released. Richard Lane appears as Inspector Faraday. Music by Charles Cornell. This is Harlow Wilcox saying goodnight for Boston Blackie, brought to you by the makers of Rinso, the soap that gets clothes.
And don't forget, tomorrow, when you ask your grocer for the new Rinso, buy a cake of Lifebuoy at the same time. Lifebuoy's rich, purifying lather goes right after dirt and perspiration, leaves you feeling extra clean. So use Lifebuoy daily in your bath or shower. Remember, it's the only soap especially made to stop... This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Adventures by Morse. Carlton E. Morse presents The City of the Dead, featuring Captain Friday.
If you like high adventure, come with me. If you like the stealth of intrigue, come with me. If you like blood and thunder, come with me.
But first, your announcer. O'clock at night in October. The second night in the City of the Dead. 3 men stand on the edge of a partly opened grave. A 4th stands in the grave itself, whispering, "I've struck something. Something awful." That was Jimmy Parker. The 3 men above him on the brink of the grave are Joshua Friday, mayor of the City of the Dead, otherwise known as the caretaker of the old cemetery. Dr. Tuner, now retired from practice, since he has buried his last patient here in the city. And third, Captain Friday, son of the mayor, a private investigator. A grave had been tampered with, and tonight it is being reopened officially to discover why. First, Captain Friday would dig, and then Jimmy Parker would dig, and it was Jimmy who uncovered the dead arm reaching up. There's something else you should know about Jimmy. He and his girlfriend, Phyllis Carroll, are virtual prisoners of the mayor, Doc Tuner, and Captain Friday. In fact, at the moment, Phyllis is locked in the bedroom assigned to her up at the mayor's bungalow just inside the cemetery gates. Jimmy and Phyllis themselves are under slight suspicion of grave robbing. But just now, Phyllis is locked up, and Jimmy is down in the grave with something horrible. Just as Parker whispered his discovery, there was a hair-raising wail from among the gravestones.
It disappeared, Captain Friday. You must have hit it.
I didn't hit anything. I fired into the air.
Dr. Tuner, Mayor Friday, everybody. I tell you, I've dug up something.
What's that? You're crazy, Parker. You won't hit the coffin under 4 or 5 feet.
I have struck something. It's an arm.
Jumping Jehoshaphat. Are you lying, Parker? Let me turn my flash down in the hole.
I tell you. Hey!
Didn't you ever see a dead man before?
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
Grab him, Doc.
No!
Now behave yourself.
Let me go! Let me get away from here!
You shouldn't have hit him so hard, Captain. And when he comes to, we won't have any more hysteria than your grandmother.
Well, you're a tough customer, I'm afraid, my boy.
Sure, why not, Mayor? That's part of the game.
Yeah. Lay him out here on the grass. He'll be around presently.
He wasn't far off. He struck something pretty ghastly, all right.
But, son, that ain't Ernie Martin's body.
Sure it isn't, Dad. Ernie died a natural death 20 years ago. This man was murdered last night.
Do you mean that, Captain?
You're a doctor. You should know. Here, take a look at his face.
Strangled. Strangled.
Not long ago, either, was it?
Not more than 24 hours.
Here, hand me the shovel. I'll finish uncovering the body and we'll take it up to the shed behind the cottage.
Did you recognize him, Doc?
No, I didn't, Mayor. It isn't anyone I ever saw before.
Wasn't Lammy Fink, then?
By jiggers, I never thought about him. Let's have another squint at that face, Captain.
I looked especially, Doctor. It isn't Lammy. Lammy has a deep scar at the roots of the hair on his forehead. There's none on this fella.
No wonder somebody ran by the cottage and out of the city of the dead in hysterics last night.
You think maybe it was the murderer we heard, Captain?
No, not likely.
Why not?
Anyone with the courage to commit murder in a graveyard isn't likely to have a case of hysteria. Besides, anyone as frightened as that wouldn't have stopped to bury his victim and replant the turf on the grave.
Then where does the hysterical man fit in?
I don't know, but I can give a guess.
Let's have it, son.
Maybe some passerby who saw something he wasn't meant to see. Perhaps the murder. Ran out of the city of the dead, scared out of his wits.
Yeah, you don't have passerbys way off down here, son.
Oh, we'll have to see. Yeah. Now, I think we can lift the body out. Here, Doctor, can you reach the arms?
Yeah.
Good. Up we go. There it is.
Unhappy business.
You're not nervous, Dr. Tuner.
Yes, I am, Dad. Blame you. What of it?
No, it's perfectly okay with me, Doc. Dad, you got a stretcher around someplace, haven't you?
In the shed behind the house where you got the shovel.
I'll run up and get it. No fun carrying a body around in your arms. Keep an eye on young Parker.
Shall I fill in the grave while you're gone?
Don't touch anything. I want to examine that grave by daylight. You just wait around. I won't be long.
Hey, Mayor, do you know what I think about this whole business?
No. How should I know what you think when I don't know what to think myself? Why in tarnation should anybody dig up one man's grave to shove another one in it?
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I've got an idea that someone else has got onto the trail of what we've been after for years.
You think that's what's at the bottom of all this?
Yes, I do. Mayor, I told the captain all about this.
Then you broke your word, Doc Tuner. We promised to never say a word.
Well, it was necessary, Mayor. It was the only way I could make him keep Parker here and that Phyllis Carroll prisoners. Besides, he's your own flesh and blood.
He's that, all right. Is he going to help us?
Well, he wouldn't promise. The only thing he agreed to was to hold the kids a week to find out whether they knew anything about how you came to be shot.
You think they know anything about the other?
Well, of course they do.
Think they were responsible for this killing?
Well, I don't know. The girl was mighty anxious to keep away from this grave tonight. The boy held out better, but you saw how hysterical he got. That looks suspicious.
So it does.
Still, they don't fit into the picture right. There's something more to it. They couldn't have rung that phantom church bell we've been hearing. Neither could one of them been the claw-footed men that tromped on me in the old church. They were both locked up in the cottage at the time.
Could they have friends helping them?
It looks like a gang, all right.
Looks like two gangs. Else why the murder?
Jupiter, Mayor. If they're out after the same thing we are and want it bad enough to commit murder...
Yes, I've been thinking about that.
Well, I'm not telling anyone I know anything.
You already shot off your mouth.
The claw-footed man again. Look, see him, Mayor?
I'm going after him.
No, don't do it, Mayor. Don't do it. Look, Look how he bobs and floats among the graves.
Oh, let loose of me, Doc. Let loose. Come on, we can catch it.
Hey, we're getting everything. Do you hear that bell?
Save your breath. We're gaining on it. Run faster.
Well, why don't you shoot, Mayor? You got your pistol, haven't you?
Yeah. Yes, of course. I forgot all about it. Stop a minute and we'll take a crack at it.
Jumping Jupiter, Mayor. Where did it go?
I dropped it. That's what happened.
No, you didn't. You didn't fall. It just vanished.
Wait and see. Cut across the lawn here, but don't walk on the graves.
Well, it was right ahead. Here you are. Now, where's your claw-footed man?
Probably just wounded him. Maybe he dragged himself off.
Why, we'd have seen him, I tell you. He just plain vanished.
I tell you, I dropped him.
All right.
Hi,
But
Dad,
where...
Doc, what's happened?
Listen.
Where are you? Hi, Doc Tuner.
There's the captain.
Hiya, Captain. Here we are. Coming.
Dad, all right?
Yep, he's all right.
Hey, where have you two been? Where's the body?
Body? What body, Captain?
The body we just dug up.
Look here, son. You ain't fooling us, are you?
Of course I'm not. You mean to tell me you don't know where it is?
Now, look here, Captain Friday. Let's get this straight. Ain't the body lying beside the grave where we left it?
It is not.
You're sure it's gone?
It's gone, all right. What have you two been up to?
We was chasing that clawfoot fella.
Well, he came right down here close by and let off a whole series of wails, so we took after him.
Got away, huh?
Yep, vanished when the mayor took a shot at him.
I hit him.
The mayor thinks he hit him, or it, or whatever it is, but it was gone when we got to the spot where it vanished.
And while you were out chasing ghosts, the strangled body got up and walked off. I thought I told you fellas to watch young Parker.
And what's happened to him?
He got up and walked off, too. Oh, come on, let's go back to the grave.
Yeah? Did he take the body?
How should I know?
Then Parker got away?
He did not. As I came out of the shed with the stretcher, I heard a noise in the house. I peeked in the window and saw young Parker releasing Phyllis Carroll. Left the key in the door, didn't you?
Well, thought it'd be safe enough. What was the boy's idea?
Well, it looked as though they were trying to make a getaway.
Trying to run away. That looks bad for him, eh, Captain?
Ah, here's the grave. Still got the hole left, anyway.
Empty, all right. I wish we'd have caught that wailing critter. Might have solved everything.
Who ever heard of catching a decoy?
Decoy?
Sure, Dad. Looks like your wailing ghost wanted you to chase him. Wanted to get you out of the way.
But why?
Likely we weren't supposed to examine the corpse. Probably its identification would have solved the whole business.
Sure, I hadn't thought of that. Well, what's to be done?
We're going back to the house and see what Parker and Miss Carroll know. I've got him locked up in his room.
Miss Carroll, Captain Friday wants to see you in the living room.
What's happened?
Never mind. Go on into the other room. Come on out, Parker. The captain wants to see you.
What right's he got slugging me and locking me up this way, even if he is Captain Friday?
Well, you'd have gotten worse if you'd tried to make a break out of a jail. Now go on in the other room.
Now, we'll see about these high-handed methods.
Oh, come on in, Parker. Sit down.
You think you're pretty smart cracking people on the jaw.
Don't sit there. Come over here, away from Miss Carroll.
Why shouldn't I sit by Phyllis?
Oh, please, Jimmy, do what he says.
Okay.
There, that's better. Now then, Parker, what did you do with the body?
Body?
Yes, Miss Carroll, we found the body. Too bad, isn't it?
Body? What body?
The body somebody planted in old Ernie Morton's grave last night.
Oh, Jimmy.
We don't know anything about any body. Be careful, Phil. They're trying to frame you.
Oh, so we're trying to frame you, are we? Tell me something, Miss Carroll.
Yes?
Did you see Parker the day he got his job?
What job?
You know, the gardening job, Phil, over at the university.
Oh, that. Why, no. No, I didn't see him that day.
Let me see. What day was it he got this job?
Why?
No, look at me, Miss Carroll. Don't look at Parker. That's better. Now then, when did Jimmy tell you he got that gardening job?
Why, I've just forgotten. Sometime last week, I think.
He told you about getting the job, did he?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, Parker. So you told Miss Carroll about the job last week, huh?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, then I'll explain. Didn't you tell me you got that job 2 days ago?
Yes.
Then how could you have told Miss Carroll about it last week? This is Saturday. That would have been at least a week ago.
What about it?
Oh, come on now. Admit it. You haven't got a gardening job and you never had one. Isn't that the truth?
Well...
Answer me. You haven't a job, have you?
No.
Oh. Then how did you get those fresh blisters on your hands?
Oh, Jimmy, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right, Phil. It wasn't your fault.
Never mind, Miss Carroll. Answer me, Parker. How did you get those blisters?
I was...
You got them opening a grave, now didn't you?
How can you even think of such a thing?
Answer me, Parker.
It's none of your business.
None of my business whether you go about strangling folks.
He didn't. He didn't kill anyone. Oh, Jimmy, tell them the truth.
The truth? Phyllis, what are you talking about?
Yes, Miss Carroll. What are you talking about?
Why, I've been so upset by all this. Oh, Jimmy, I want to go home.
Oh, so Jimmy Parker and Phyllis Carroll are up to their chins in this after all. But what are a good-looking young woman and a college boy doing mixed up with grave robbing and murder? But more in just a moment.
Dr. Tuna, take Miss Carroll to her room and see if you can quiet her.
There now, Miss Carroll. You'll feel better after a good night's rest.
Now then, Parker, let's have the truth.
I haven't anything to say.
I'd guess you have plenty to say. You lied about the blisters. You tried to escape after we discovered a murder victim in Ernie Morton's grave. And on top of that, now the body has vanished. We've got a lot of explaining to do.
I tell you, I don't know anything.
Phyllis urged you to tell the truth. What was she talking about?
She was scared. She didn't know what she was saying.
She did know what she was saying. What did she mean?
I don't know.
Why did you try to escape after you saw the body?
I wasn't going to stay here and be beaten up by you.
That wasn't the reason. Something about that body terrified you. Now, what was it?
It was just a dead body. Never saw a murdered man before.
That wasn't it. Something about that body got under your skin. Did you murder that man?
No, I swear I didn't. I swear it.
Did you recognize the body?
No, of course I didn't recognize it.
Yes, you did, Parker. The moment you saw that face, you let out a yell.
Oh, please, Captain Friday, please let us go. Don't you understand? Can't you see?
Can't I see what?
The same thing will happen to all of us if you keep us here. We'll all be murdered.
How do you figure that out?
I know it.
Wouldn't you be in just as much danger if I let you go?
Oh, no, really, the danger's here, Captain. The danger's in the city of the dead.
What do you mean by that? What danger?
A murderer.
What murderer?
There's someone in the city of the dead that intends to kill everyone who knows...
Who knows what?
I can't tell. I couldn't if I wanted to.
How long have you known of this murderer?
Since I saw the body.
And you did recognize it?
Yes.
Who was it?
I can't tell you.
Now, look here, Parker. If you are in as much danger as you say you are, I should think you and Miss Carroll would want protection.
But it isn't only us. Don't you understand? You're in danger, too. So is the mayor and Dr. Tooner.
What's that?
I tell you, it's true. They won't stop at anything.
They? Is it a gang?
No, I don't know.
Huh. So you won't talk to save your own life?
No.
Isn't there anything that would make you talk?
Will you let me talk alone with Phyllis for a little?
Then will you tell us what we want to know?
If she's willing.
But she's already begged you to tell.
She doesn't know all I know.
Oh, I see. In other words, you want to tell her the name of the murdered man.
I didn't say that.
Very well, I'll let you talk to her. Hey, Doctor.
Yes, Captain?
I'm going to send Parker in to see Phyllis. Is she all right?
Oh, sure. She's all right. I gave her powder. You want her to come out?
No, I'm giving Parker here 5 minutes with her alone. Go on in, Parker.
Yes, sir.
Let him shut the door, Doctor. It's just 5 of 10. You got till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, right in here, son.
Okay.
Oh, Jimmy, what's it all about? How did we get into all this trouble?
Look here, Phyllis. We've got to face it. There's something horrible going on in this place.
But you said it would be all right. You said all we'd have to do would be to come down here and dig the...
Shh, be careful, Phil. They may be listening.
But why do we have to be careful? Why don't you tell everything?
Phyllis, Do you know who that was we dug up tonight?
You mean the body?
Yes.
Oh, please. It wasn't anyone I know.
It was, Phil. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jimmy, who was it?
It was your cousin, Bert Arnold.
Oh, no, Jimmy.
Please, don't cry, Phyllis. I'm awfully sorry, but you just had to know.
Oh, but I just saw Bert yesterday. Oh, who would want to kill Bert, Jimmy?
Look here, Phil. I think Bert was down here for the same reason we came.
Oh, but how did he know? I thought I was the only one who knew.
I don't know how he found out, but it looks to me like he did know, and someone killed him while he was nosing around down here.
Oh, Jimmy, this is awful. Awful. What are we going to do?
I don't know. Whoever killed Bert is probably out after us, too.
Oh, Jimmy, don't say that.
You might as well face it. Have you any idea who it could be?
Oh, no. No.
Any relatives?
Mother's the only relative I've got, besides Bert.
Any distant relative that might have found out something in some way?
Oh, I don't know. No one I know of. Oh, please, why can't we tell Captain Friday all about it?
What do you suppose he's going to think if we tell him what we came down here for, and then told him the murdered man was your cousin?
Oh, I don't know.
I do. He'd think we killed him.
Oh, but we didn't. We didn't.
Oh, of course not, but... Well, if you want me to tell.
Not if they'll think we killed him.
Well, they will. You can count on that.
Well, then we mustn't tell. We mustn't. Oh, I don't know what I'll tell Mother.
We'll be lucky not to get kicked out of the university for this. Oh, shh, listen.
Go on out, Parker. Time's up.
You won't tell. You won't tell, will you, Jimmy?
No, Phyllis, but listen. If you hear anyone trying to get into your room, yell. Don't wait a minute, do you understand?
Oh, well, do you think that...
Come on out of there, Parker.
Coming. Remember what I say, Phyllis. Don't take any chances. Good night, Phil.
Be careful, Jimmy.
Sure. Well, here I am.
Yeah. You ready to talk?
No.
Oh, it's that way, huh?
Yeah, that way.
Then go on into your room. But let me tell you this, Parker. If you don't come through with me, and mighty soon, I'll take you into San Francisco and throw you to the cops. You'll be only too glad to talk. I'll go on to bed and think it over.
Did you lock both doors, Captain?
Right. And I'm keeping the keys to both Parker's and Miss Carroll's rooms with me. Are there any more keys to those 2 bedrooms, Mayor?
No, those are all, son.
Well, it's 10:15. I'm turning in. It's going to be heavy work from now on.
But, Captain, do you think we might be in any danger? After all, a man has been murdered here.
Who can tell where danger is? Doc, you and the mayor double up in the big bed in the front room. I'm going to make myself comfortable here on the lounge beside the fire.
Now, look here, son. You won't be comfortable there.
Do what I say, Dad. I'm going to boss things around here for a while.
Yeah, young jackanapes turn you across my knee.
Good night. Parker. Parker.
Yeah. Hello?
It's me, Captain Friday. Don't make a sound.
What do you want?
Get dressed as fast as you can. There's something hanging around outside the house.
Hey, are you sure?
Yeah, of course. Hurry.
Is Phyllis all right?
Yeah, I made sure of it. Everyone's asleep.
What are we going to do?
Find out who it is.
Isn't it a man?
Well, if it is, he's certainly got himself rigged out.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Well, by moonlight, it looks like a cross between the Headless Horseman and one of Shakespeare's witches. Come on, fella. Aren't you almost ready?
Just a minute. One more shoe.
Oh, here it is. Get into it.
Oh, thanks. Why are you ringing me in on this detective business? I thought I was a prisoner.
If this fellow's hanging around for a chance to murder you, as you seem to believe, I just thought I'd give him a chance at you.
You don't really mean that.
How do you know what I mean? All right. Hang right on my coattail and you won't be in any danger even if this fella is after you. Come on.
All right.
He seems to be patrolling around the house. We'll watch here at the window until we spot him, then we'll slip outside and lay for him.
Where did you see him?
I watched him circle the house twice. Look, there he comes.
Yeah. Hey, what is it?
Can you see his face, Parker? Look sharp.
Yeah. The long hair strangling down all over his face. Hey, look. It's crouching down.
Look
looks like an animal that scents its prey.
Look in the shadow there. There's something else moving. It's coming out in the moonlight.
A man. He's coming toward the house.
He doesn't see that crouching thing.
Hello. Fella's going around to the back of the house.
The thing's following him. He doesn't see it.
There they go around the corner. Come on, we gotta see the end of this. Easy now. There. Leave the door on the latch so that we can get back in fast if we have to. Follow close. Just a minute. Here, let me take a peek around the corner. It's all in shadow. Can't see a thing. We'll have to take a chance. Come on. Softly. Hold it. I'll give a look around this corner. Now we'll get some moonlight in the back of the house.
See anything?
Wait. Look at that, Parker.
What's happening?
Somebody's working on the bars to your window.
The murderer, I told you.
Yeah, but where's our pet ghost? He seems to have vanished.
Look, the man's cutting the bars.
We'll put a stop to that right now. But I hate like the deuce to make a move in the open until I know what's become of our long-haired phantom.
Maybe the thing spotted us.
Well, you keep a lookout behind. There it is. Keep down, keep down.
Where? I don't see it.
Crouched in that shadow right behind the man. He doesn't know it's there.
I wouldn't have that thing.
Oh! Look out, it's killing him. It's killing him.
Don't let it get away.
I missed. It's gone. Quick, run for Dr. Tooner while I see if the fellow's still alive.
Yeah, but I...
Do what I tell you. Run.
Dr. Tooner! Dr. Tooner! Dr. Tooner! Doc! Hey, Doc Tooner! Dr. Tooner!
Hey, what's your matter? Who is that? What's your matter?
Is that you, Doctor? Another man's been murdered. Captain Friday wants you.
Where is he?
Back of the cottage. Come on, I'll show you. All right, around this way.
Who's been killed?
I don't know. All I know is somebody's been murdered.
Not so fast, boy. Give an old man a break.
Right down here, you can see the body in the moonlight. Hurry. Hurry, Doc. Here.
Yeah. Here's the body. But where's Captain Friday?
Maybe chasing the phantom. I don't know. Here, let's turn this fellow over on his back. See if he's still alive.
Take it easy now. Uh-huh. What do you mean, boy? This body is Captain Friday.
Captain Friday? And where's the other body?
You have just heard Chapter 3 of City of the Dead. Why is it a corpse in the City of the Dead vanishes almost as quickly as it is made? Why is this phantom creature haunting the vicinity of the caretaker's cottage? And what's happened to Captain Friday? All this will unfold next week in the 4th episode of City of the Dead, entitled Old Clawfoot Again.
As always, thanks very much for joining us Sunday night with Old Time Radio, broadcasting the best from the golden age of radio, and sometimes something modern, too. Please visit again. And until then, sleep tight. This is a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.